Yeah.
Everybody, everyone, all of them, all of us, the whole world, the whole galaxy, the universe, you and her. Look, the new neighbor, the cute waiter, the flute player, the newsmaker, editor of the school paper, the person doing labor, the glue trainer, the soup taster, the dudes running for mayor, the player with the shoes and suit tailored or tapered, the stranger in the Buick Sabre, the politician and the I had to make a wage. I would say the way to good and bad behavior. There are levels, there are layers. Don't throw stones or tomatoes. Look, the shade can be fatal, and the judges can be swayed at appraisal. The chiropractor, the private dancer, the mind enhancer, quoting the Bible past the wholesome comic that provided laughter. Your last ex, your next ex, your best friends, the template, future prayers, most athletic and the best dressed. The person teaching sex ed to the person on their deathbed. Shit, yes, everybody's messy. Everybody, everyone, all of them, all of us, your whole family, your co-workers, that person over you right there actually. Look, the brain doctor, the crane operator that sang opera, the person eating Maine lobster, the famed scholar, Dr. Brenner and Jane Hopper, your mama and your papa, like a neighbor, sage partner, the sex worker, the health worker, the wealthy surfer, the one that's supposed to nurture, the one that fixed the server, the one that won the merger, the one that go to church and tell you not to use the curse words, the earthworms, the clean freak, the OCD geek, the hypochondriac, the mad, the one that wanna rap, the combat vet, the posh exec.
Manny Faces.
You sick for this one. Sick for this one. Sick for this one.
The thing about hip hop today is it's smart. It's insightful. The way that they can communicate a complex message in a very short space is remarkable. And a lot of these kids, they're not going to be reading the New York Times. That's not how they're getting their information.
My hip hop will rock and shock the nation. Hip hop culture is more than music.
Peace to you and speak the truth. Show 'em what peace can do when there is for you.
My hip hop will rock and shock the nation. Rap is something you do. Hip hop is something you live.
So hip hop didn't invent anything, but hip hop reinvented everything.
This is Baby Girl Faces, and this episode is brought to you.
Our Substack subscribers and our Patreon patrons. That's who it's brought to you by. I didn't let her do the whole spiel with the video because Baby Girl Face is a lot older than that video, and she would not be my friend if she let me put that out to the world right now, because now she do her edges and everything. It wouldn't be right. Anyway, peace and love, y'all. It's your man, Manny Faces. This is Hip Hop Can Save America, the live stream, the weekly live stream. I'm here with y'all. I already got Bob Knutson in the mix. Bob Knutson, oh man, come get home quick, my man. We got two guests tonight you're not gonna want to miss. We talking a little political stuff. We talking some Minnesota stuff. We talking about some Black History Month stuff. And you want to be here, so do what you got to do, but don't drive fast or anything, because I don't want nothing to come back on me. Anyway, peace and love. It's the place where we talk about hip hop as a way to improve society and uplift humanity. Happy, as I mentioned, Black History Month. Two amazing guests tonight that epitomize Black excellence. My good friend TK Dutes is going to join us in a few minutes to talk about connecting with community members, community activists, community journalists, and community, peoples on the ground in Minneapolis, Minnesota, specifically. TK, of course, friend of the show. If you know me, you probably know her. Used to run Bonfire Radio along with my man C, Conscious in the Building. I see you, friend. And a great online radio program for many, many years out of Brooklyn, but to the world. And for many, many years was connecting with folks from around the country in many different ways, arts, creative politics, civics, all the things. And so we're going to talk about with her live. We're going to do a live guest. So don't listen. We're pulling some technological miracles off tonight. So we're going to go live and talk to her about reconnecting with some of the folks in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, on the ground that are going through all the things that we've been hearing about, unfiltered. It's from the peoples, for the people, of the people, by the people. We don't have to go through corporate. We don't have to wait till Don Lemon gets arrested to find out what's happening on the ground. Like, we know people on the ground, and I know people that know people on the ground. So we're going to talk about that. So if that interests you, we're going a little bit, a little sideways this night. We're not going to just be pure hip hop all the time, 24/7, even though we know hip hop is inherently political. After that, I'll be talking to the amazing poet and scholar and organizer of the Black AF conference. The Black AF is for artistic freedom, though there's a double entendre. So the Black AF conference is happening at UMass Amherst on February 21st. This month, I'm honored and privileged and just humbled that I'm actually been asked to present at this conference. But I'm the low light of the event. Trust me when I tell you, there's so many powerhouses, speakers, presenters, folks bringing scholarly talk into the art space. People bringing artistic talk into the academic space, and all with this underpinning of hip hop as a revolutionary force. Hip hop has always been and continues to be a force for liberation and freedom and resistance and all the things. So again, I'm not here to tell you what it is. The voices are going to speak for themselves. I'm just bringing them to you on this platform. So once again, shouts to our early people in the room. Shouts to you if you're on Substack. I should be streaming a Substack as well. I didn't go check, but let's do it live. We'll do it live. Let's see if... Oh, we are live. All right, so peace to you in Substack. Now, the main thing, the full experience is on... No, I don't think that's right. I think I messed up. I probably blew it. I blew it. All right, whatever. If you're on Substack, you see me, you see me. If you don't, you don't. But we're really for the full experience on YouTube. Most Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. I do what I can. I'll be traveling throughout February, but most of my Mondays are open, so I think we'll be here. Anyway, tell a friend to tell a friend. Give me a thumbs up. Spread the word. Put the link out to the peoples. Let people come through and find out what we're doing over here. And if you are watching for the first time and you're like, what is this? This sounds crazy. Who is this guy? Just stick around. And if at the end I'm full of it, I'll give you your money back, even though you didn't, pay for anything. So that all being said, let's cut to the chase here. And if I did this right, and y'all in the chat, I need you on this one because the technology is technologying. So let me introduce my friend. Her name is TK, Tasty Quiche, if you know her. Or if you're nasty. Anyway, whatever. Tasty Quiche, TK Dutes is in the building. Say hi to the peoples.
Yo, what's good, peoples? It's your girl TK. So glad to be here, bro. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm ready. Let's get into it. Whatever you want, I'm ready.
I feel you. That was my rambling intro because the live aspect, you know how, now you a radio vet, you a podcast veteran. You've been doing like on-air radio, like actual real radio. Before real radio for real people. So you know how the live thing gets, and doing it with all this technology is wild. So I'm glad it's, like I said, it's a friendly face as I try to work this magic. So people in the chat, you hear us, smell us, taste us, feel us, all good, right? Let me know. Let us know in the chat you can hear me. Hey, I know who that is. That's Mrs. Faces. Don't act like you don't know. I see you, girl. Shouts again to our homie. Why are they doubled? Why is everything doubled? That's weird. See, technology crazy. I put it on the screen, TK. TK can't see the main screen. I'm putting their highs on the screen. Okay, so the reason why we had to talk tonight, and it's funny, we hear so many people complain that people in certain industries or certain genres don't speak about the issues. And I'm like, there's people in these communities that speak about the issues all the damn time. So I don't know why y'all not talking about us. Anyway, let me not start there. Point is that, again, radio veteran, online radio veteran, if you know Bonfire Radio, if you don't know, you missed out. But for many, many years, you led a wonderful community, honestly, an online community through an online radio station called Bonfire Radio. Of course, I'm part of that family. Many, many years, you had a show called TK in the AM, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 1,000+ episodes.
Yes.
Right, over the course of some years. And through those years, you've connected and contacted and been in, community with so many people, including, as you mentioned when you first started the venture you're doing now, folks that are on the ground in Minneapolis. Why, when Minneapolis hit the news, did you say, oh, I know people in Minneapolis, I need to reconnect with, not that you had fallen off, but I need to talk to my peoples and find out what's going on out there? And then what are you doing to amplify that in the way that you've done so well over the years in amplifying other people's voices and stories?
Yeah, for sure. You know what got me? I was so surprised at how little I knew about what was going on. And I could feel me and C, who you mentioned earlier, who we did TK and AM with, and we've co-founded Bonfire together. We could feel and sense that our people, they was reaching out to us, but they also probably kind of didn't know how to reach out to us because we stopped doing the morning show. So it's like, I know that these people can amplify, but I don't think they're doing that job anymore. And but I could feel them kind of like trying to express something to us. So I hollered at C on the side and I was like, yo, do you feel it too? Like he was like, yeah, Minneapolis, we got to do something. So I just felt really shocked at how little I didn't know about it.
Yeah. Even though you knew people from out there. Yeah. Yeah.
And like literally their day-to-day lives and what was going on. So we decided to do some really brief, no frills check-ins with our people on the ground. And like when we say on the ground, it's really just people that live there, citizens, regular people that are experiencing a time of occupation, okay, in a way that I don't think living people currently have ever experienced, in our age group, let's say. So I was like, let's just call some homies and see what happens. And we did the first one last week. Yeah.
So you went live on your Instagram. Your Instagram channel, just for the folks, is
at Tasty Quiche on IG. And the deal is me and Conscious are going to take turns. So the next live will be at AG Trap House, HAUS, but we send all of the posts also to each of our individual feeds, but also to Bonfire Radio and to TK and AM on IG. So they will live there until they can't. I also download them for posterity.
As you should. As you should. Yep.
They can all this internet-ish away.
We've seen that in recent days. We've seen what happens when they try to, yeah. Okay, listen, if you didn't get all that, we'll say it at the end. I'll put them in the chat, or someone put them in the chat if you know all those things. See you not, come on, put them in the chat. I see. Help me out. I don't have a producer here. But we'll give them to you at the end so that you have to know. TK and the AM, Tasty Quiche, Bonfire Radio, AG Trap House. Cool. Just want to get that out of the way because people can be like, oh, God, I need to know. And I think that it's interesting because, we hear and see through the corporate media lens. That's like mostly how we get what we get. Like we see whether it's CNN or, whatever, it's probably not other channels that don't show you or they show you very selective coverage. And even the CNNs, like I'm not caping for CNN either. Like corporate media is going to show you selective coverage and they're going to show you only but so much. You have to go to like the PBS and of course they're trying to shut that down. So one of the best ways to do this is, like you said, local people on the ground. And what's interesting is, tell me about your first guest that you had on, because we both know her. We both, super in the media world, in the podcasting world, and done some great work. And then also ironically mentioned a local journalist that then came to national attention the very next day. Explain it.
Yeah. So our first guest was Twyla Dang, and she's a colleague of ours, amazing podcast colleague. And she is the CEO of Matriarch Media, which is a media company that focuses on all women content, all women programming. But she also recently won a grant to start open a bookstore in Minneapolis called Book Mother. So that's amazing. She's doing big work out there.
Right.
So I said, let me call her up and see what's going on. And she's living a regular life. She has kids. So like this is affecting her in a very specific way. So she let us know that, like neighbors are lined up protecting their other neighbors and getting the kids to and from school. Like it's that serious. And
Yeah.
I did not know because like you said, the selective programming.
Right.
Neighbors are looking out for each other.
Yeah.
Neighbors, they're taking care of each other's kids. They're making sure the kids have something to do, because if the school is closed because people are too afraid to come out due to, I call them extreme weather agents, you know what I'm saying? Then like, we got to keep each other safe. So she let us
Right.
know about that. But then when I asked her about resources, she said, amplify anything you see. Amplify, Georgia Fort was one of the journalists to amplify.
Right.
GeorgiaFort.com. Amazing Black woman journalist that has been covering all the things.
Right.
And we said yes. And I've heard, I got feedback right away from people. They said, thank you. I actually put money in Georgia Fort's thing. I wake up in the morning about 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Twice sent me a message. You sent me a message. Y'all like hit me at the same time.
Right.
And said, Georgia Fort got arrested. Literally, we was talking her up. Georgia Fort got arrested. Don Lemon got arrested.
Yep.
They're targeting Black journalists now,
Right.
and forever. But you know what I'm saying? In this time.
Right. Right. Again.
So
As I said to Nicole Carr, who's another journalism head online that people should follow, she posted something. And I said, what's old is new again. It's what it is. Yeah.
Yep. We're back.
Yeah.
So that's what happened, man. And I'm just glad that we got to talk about that stuff, have a real lens. So what we're gonna keep doing is as much as we want and when we want, because also when you're doing something for community, you can't do it despite yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to do it in capacity, with the capacity you have, and with the skill set you have. The skill set that me and C have, we talk to people. We put it out there. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then the capacity thing, like we stopped doing radio 3 times a week, and we didn't. Right now we're not in a place to go back, but we are in a place to when we feel like it, because social media allows us to hit the button anytime. If you see the live thing light up, we don't go live often, so we don't be bothering people. If you see it light up, we're probably having a check-in, and you should come too. You should see what the people of Minneapolis be on. You know?
Yeah, for sure. What was some of the, and we'll send, obviously go watch the whole thing. What were some of the takeaways from that first conversation?
Well, it was really eye-opening, like I said, about the kids of the community, which we always forget. I think we go march and we go do stuff, and we forget that, like,
and we see the drama, and it's like, what's crazy is, and not to cut you off, but like the Alex Preddy murder was right outside of a donut shop, and people who saw it were like getting donuts, like like
normal stuff.
Can you imagine like just going to Dunkin' Donuts and be like, I'm gonna get 2 donuts? Oh, what's happening outside? And this is what's happening outside. Like,
but can I imagine?
Well,
yeah, now I can. You know,
unfortunately,
and also like, wait, George Floyd got killed in front of a boat. Like not George Floyd.
I know it's about
New York,
Staten Island.
So many, so many people.
Yes,
right. Gentleman got killed in front of at a bodega. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So can you imagine? Yeah, we could.
Yeah, we can. We've kind of been imagining and seeing it. Eric Garner, by the way.
Eric Garner, yes. Thank you.
For sure.
Yeah, so that was one of the biggest takeaways. And also, we talked about, I'm not gonna shy away from stuff, Manny. I wanted to ask a Black person in Minneapolis about being Black in Minneapolis in this time frame of I call it like white consciousness awakening, right? Because let's be real, I was watching a clip from that dude Deontay Kyle, and he reminded us, he said, in this time that we can remember, something like 150 Black people have been murdered by law enforcement. And it is these two, which atrocious. And also, I hate that I have to give this a disclaimer, right? But you got to give it so you don't, people don't go cut the clip and act like you ain't say nothing.
Right.
You have 2 white people that got killed in a very horrific, atrocious manner, the same as these other 150 in our most recent memory.
Right.
And now white people have seen that it's coming to their doorstep too.
Right.
But the thing is, we saw it Black Lives Matter time, during COVID, 2016. We go back to 2015. We go back to Trayvon Martin. We go back. And you realize now that the actions that are being taken in a white-centered space, everyone thought they were doing enough until it came knocking on their door.
Right.
Because if we were doing enough, if they were doing enough,
if we, yeah. Yep.
Then it wouldn't have taken 150 in most recent history Black people to be dead for you to realize they're coming for you too.
Right.
So she answered that, and I appreciated and she lives there, so it's also a different lens. You still got to live. You have to commune with people, and she reminded us as people, and also as Black people, like, do what you can, but don't do anything that's hazardous to your health.
Yeah, facts.
And if that means staying inside, you have to let other people do all that other stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, talk about the onus has been on white people to actually do the work for a minute. So
yeah. I'm like, not a nary a book got read, Manny.
I know.
They were giving the book list out. You were there for the book list.
I got the books.
You got the books. You got the books.
I did the books. And me personally, yeah, but so okay, let them put in my cousins, we trying though. We're trying to talk over, Thanksgiving. That being said, so I forgot my question. Okay, why Minneapolis? Why did this place touch you personally, and why do you know people in Minneapolis? This is weird. I don't know anyone in Minneapolis except Twyla Dang, and I don't even know LinkedIn. I don't know anybody out there. Although isn't Giant Steps, right? There's a whole Tell me about some of the connections you had, and to why. 2 things. Okay, I remember what I was going to say. So let me say this real quick. I really appreciate that you did this because there are people who just get their news and information from whoever they follow on social media. And that's for good or for bad. I don't blanket downplay social media and the scourge of, no, because you know what? There are people out there that are doing this. Twyla's been on social media. Georgia Fort's been on social media. We talk about her Substack, that's social media in a way. So it's not necessarily the worst part, but a lot of it is processed and clipped. Like you said earlier, watch the clip. The clip could be clipped in a way that isn't accurate or with integrity.
You gotta say the thing.
You gotta say it right. But what you're doing is saying, I'm just going to talk to the person. I'm going to horse straight from the source and let it get out there. And it reminds people that if you don't like mainstream media, I don't even watch the news. Crazy take, if you ask me.
Right.
But I understand because the news is manufactured, to make you, I always tell people, look, if you got to watch the news, turn on CNN, watch the first 8 minutes. You'll get a general idea of all that's happening, and then go before they get into the let's have both sides talk. I don't need the arguing in the crossfire kind of thing. But the first 8 minutes will tell you do I need to take shelter right now or not? Right. So there's that. But what you're doing is saying, I'm going to go straight from the source. And I just want to encourage people to understand, because I come from a journalism world. You come from a, radio/journalism world. The insight, the perspectives that you really need to have are out there. Mm-hmm. They're the people. They're not hiding. Twyla's not quiet. Georgia Fort wasn't quiet. They were out there. Even a Don Lemon with his independent media was in the mix reporting. So it's important to do that. And I just think that what you're doing is so important to remind people that the people exist. Not everyone has an ulterior, the media. Georgia Fort is media.
Yeah.
TK,
we are media.
TK is media. You're media just by your existence and by the fact that you could recount what's happening to an audience.
And I think I wanted to do it, and I think I wanted us to do it, me and C together, because it brought us back to where we ended, right? We ended actually during COVID.
That's right.
In that time. So it brought us right back. I'm like, yo, you know what?
You
If
had people on
anything,
the ground over there as well. Like you did this already.
Yeah. We're gonna pop in. We're gonna pop in to remind us that we can, that we should, and to remind people it ain't nothing but a phone call. It ain't nothing but a check-in.
Right.
It ain't nothing but like telling someone, okay, listen, it's like we doing a public FaceTime.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is dial a number and let the people listen.
Yeah. Yeah. So
we could all be journalists, honestly.
I mean, we all are to some degree. Again, and you know, the ones with no agendas, we prefer. You know what I mean? Right. The one that have some kind of objectivity and, you know, journalistic integrity, it's preferable. But you exist and they exist. So I'm happy to say, again, why Minneapolis? How did you get to become friends with so many Minnesotans? How random.
How random.
You're from Brooklyn.
I love going outside, so that's part of it.
Oh, we know. Your podcast will tell you about that.
Facts.
We'll shout that out at the end.
That made me also, that brought me closer to Minneapolis, my own podcast,
right?
The Secret Life of TK Dutes, because it took me on a journey there, which kind of like put them in my psyche.
Okay.
So then with them in my psyche, I was like, who do we know? And the real person that started this web is actually going to be on the call with Conscious tomorrow. He's doing a Minneapolis live. Okay. Her name is Susan Campion.
Oh yeah.
And she is of Giant Steps, a conference for social awareness and really wonderful, bringing people across the globe together. And she's the web. And then Susan brought us all these other people. And Twilight happened to meet in podcasting, but then, boop, you know, all atoms collide. And now you have a universe of amazing people in Minneapolis that we're going to talk to about wellness. That we have a wellness friend out there. We're going to talk to, I'm going to do my best to try to get Nicole Crowder, who was on my show. Try to get her, because she is also a member of the media in a different way, but she is very much so taking this seriously. So I really want to hear what she has to say. So we have wellness people. We have people that are just in different kind of CEOs. We have your regular housewives or spouses, whatever, regular people. We're going to call them all. We calling every one of them till we run out of, we have artists, like visual artists,
right?
You know, like what are the visual artists doing? And how are they like coping or taking care of their neighbors, you know? Because I think it's imperative that we know, like, there are everyone can do something. You don't have to have a kind of job to be an activist. You don't even have to be an activist to be an activist. Right. Like, that's what I'm telling you. Like, these people are just regular, like, and they all my homies.
Right.
And we know them because we kept going back.
Right.
If you're nice to us one time, we're going to keep coming back. Why keep coming back to your house, Manny? You invited me all the time to Atlanta. Keep coming back to your house.
Come through anytime. That's it.
Yeah, don't let nothing pop off over there. I'm in front of your house with the microphone. We're in front of Manny Faces' crib.
I know it. And likewise, I'll be back in BK, you know, with some people, because, you know, we got people. And matter of fact, it's so funny. Shouts to Bob Knutson, who's checking in from Wisconsin. He goes, I made it home. I was listening the whole way. Knowing folks all over comes in handy. Wisconsin here, but hoping I'm not an on-the-ground reporter for anything anytime soon. But
if you have to be.
And you know what? I know Bob, and he will. And he's actually working with, people running for office out there in Wisconsin. And so that's another way. You don't have to be an activist, but you could be like volunteer for a campaign for somebody you think could make change. There's so many ways to get involved that, you know, sometimes you can't or don't want to or don't know how to put your life on the line or, you know, be out there in those streets. And there's people that are down for that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I guess everyone plays a part, right?
Yeah.
He says, thanks for doing this work. I'm live and direct. We're doing live this time, y'all. Hip Hop Can Save America with my friend TK Dutes, Tasty Quiche, if you're nasty. Hashtag Janet Jackson. Longtime radio and podcast vet. And she's like, I'm trying to be professional now, man. Stop with the old nicknames. We got
No, we could do. Listen, I appreciate when someone says it with their whole chest, tasty quiche,
Mhm.
because I had to shorten it because people couldn't say it with their whole
Right.
chest.
Right. That's it.
So
Mhm.
you know, and people want to make up their own. They want to infer on
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, don't infer, just ask.
Just ask. Just open your mouth and
Just
ask. She'll tell you. She'll
Yeah.
tell you. So okay, so you had some connections to Minneapolis. You've been out there a few times, and you wanted to make sure you're connecting with the folks on there on the ground. And I think that's, like I said, it just lets us know that we do have people everywhere, and we can get to the source. And it's important to get those perspectives without filtering it through a corporate media lens, which is super important. Let's do it while we're there on the topic. You then recently, well, not so recent, but a little bit recently, went back for another reason. And you just kind of mentioned it. You do have a podcast of your own. This is not why we brought you on. You wanted to talk about the work you're doing and the amplification, but I'm going to amplify you and give you your flowers for the. And I did. I've done it in the newsletter, by the way. I've shouted people out because I'm a little bit biased. I work on this show with you, but even if I wasn't, I think it's a remarkable piece of. I don't want to say content. It's media. It's media. It's journalism. It's oral history. It's all these wonderful things, these experiences that you've gone through. Tell us about the secret life of TK Dutes and why, even if you don't like podcasts or if you do like podcasts, or why people should be tuning in to this recently released beautiful piece of art that you're putting out to the world.
Thank you. Wow. Okay, well, I'll tell y'all what it is first. Because you hit me with that. And I'm like, damn, bro.
I know.
It's my journey. It's a girl's journey through burnout and reclaiming life through art, creativity, community, adventure. What's on the other side, right? What happens when you stop living life on everybody else's terms and just start doing you? And I've been learning that doing me is what I should have been doing the whole fucking time. And it takes a lot of work to get there because we're conditioned in a way, right? We're conditioned to respond to certain rewards. And I'm not exempt from that. I am conditioned, not was. I'm working on it. I said God is working on me every day. And I have been working super hard to rewire my brain, and this podcast is helping me rewire my brain. So like that first episode takes you through what had happened, right? And I think the burnout story is something that a lot of people can we all have that in common.
Yeah.
And then if you have been watching the news or have been, and you don't have to watch the news to know, ask any Black woman, the rate that Black women have been pushed off the glass cliff in work settings from your local McDonald's to your highest corporate entity to Google, right? It's atrocious. And I said, like, yo, I don't have to live like that. So the podcast is me not living like that anymore.
Right. 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 And it's also like a wild leap of faith.
Crazy.
A little bit. Not that you just said like, I'm going to go out in the world, and because it's very travel oriented. It's very, when you say you're taking folks on the journey with you, it's not just like you sitting and reminiscing in a room by yourself. Like what I love about the show and what you do is like, you literally went outside and you literally went places and you've done things and gotten perspectives that folks who are in similar situations, stuck in that chair, might not get the opportunity to do, and that's fair. Not everyone can just do that. It was, like I said, big risk for you personally to say, I'm going to kind of leave the corporate world and go kind of out on my own and become a, independent, company owner. You own a company, you make podcasts, but you're going to like do it from the road a little bit, and say, I'm going to see what this life really has for me.
Yeah.
And not everyone can do that, but I think it's important that everyone could be inspired to, maybe not fully, but to know that this is possible.
Possible, yeah.
And what might come if they do. And how important it is to just realize that you don't have to be trapped.
You got to bet on yourself, bro. Like, you got to bet on yourself because, like, no matter what, okay, I want to say one thing. You said, well, I want to say a couple things. Let's go.
Let's go.
Leaving the corporate world, I'll tell you, the corporate world left me. They left me a long time ago. They never,
Fair.
like that's you'll find that.
Yep.
You wasn't showing me no love a long time ago. So once you get over that,
right,
you're like, wait, so if I'm waiting to be wanted, accepted, loved, insert corporate, insert family, insert friend group, insert all these things. If I'm waiting, then nothing's happening. Right? So that's why we just keep doing shit. Nobody was hiring me to do news about Minnesota. I'm doing news about Minnesota, right? So nobody's gonna put TK on a fucking show. I'm gonna make up what fucking show. So
right.
So like, it's either you stay home or you go outside. And I decided to go outside, right? Like if I wasn't gonna get paid, I was gonna be broke anyway. So might as well have fun being broke.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If I'm gonna be broke, I don't want to be sulking all the time. That's crazy.
Yeah. Let's do it.
There's so many lessons in this podcast. I think for everyone. I think you mentioned earlier, as a Black woman, you have a different perspective than non-Black women, or whatever position, whatever identity or positionality like you're putting forth. Why is it even more urgent for folks that identify the way you do to hear what you're saying?
And also, I was just saying, before I go there, I've heard from everybody too.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. This is not a gatekeeper, podcast.
Yeah,
for sure.
This ain't that, and it's just I
get stuff from you. Oh my God.
And you're our first line of defense. Like if you listen and you have a certain kind of response, I know that is going to work for everybody.
This is a Gen Pop show. For sure. And I don't want, Bob Knutson just said, I just subscribed, and Bob Knutson, you're going to be blown away. And the perspectives are so valuable to anyone with the kind of, mind that we should have just to listen to other people. But I know there's a sense of urgency for y'all.
Yeah. For us, for Black women, for Black people, I always talk about is, for Black people, and for the more marginalizations, the more intersections you're marginalized by, you start to feel more and more things. And I think it's really important because we keep trying to, and we've been conditioned, and our family, our parents, our ancestors, they had to go through certain conditions. So they're scared for us. And I'm here to say, thank you for the training. Heard. We don't have to live like that anymore. We don't have to live in fear of what happens if I don't get this job? Or what if they don't understand? Or what if I don't do my hair a certain way? Will they take me seriously? Right. Well, then they don't take you seriously. You don't want to work there. You don't want to love you be in love with that person. You don't want to be in that family. If the place or the people or the group don't accept you, this is what I'm trying to say to folks. We have been conditioned. We need to work on deconditioning, unconditioning, whatever the word is, fam.
Right.
And I think that is really important for us, and it's important to live by example. And I'm so blessed to know so many people that have tried different things, whether it's in their parenting style. I learned from them. I'm literally trying to decolonize my mind through so many avenues that sometimes I be spinning, bro. I'm phew, because man, I'm okay, so awesome. I don't even have kids, but damn, I learned some shit from you. And I'm well, that means somebody's looking at me outside and they learned some shit from me. So what's stopping you?
Yeah, that's brilliant. There's so many levels. You learn that lesson, which has nothing to do with the content in the show, but you learn that mindset that you're talking about by listening to that show. So please, everybody, I don't care who you are, where you are, what your lifestyle is, or what you do with your private time. The Secret Life of TK Dutes should be on your playlist. And so, like I said, I'm a little bit biased because I know you, I love you. But I'm also I admire you, and I understand so much more having listened to you take all of your multiple experiences, radio vet, podcast vet, storyteller, host, you know, friend, lover, daughter, sister, like all the things. You have an incredible assortment of experiences and background and perspectives that you just know how to put together in this magical, you know, mix. And so I love
And
it.
it's not for lack of help. And you're included, and
Sure.
like you be putting that sauce on it, and every person that touches the show,
Right.
has made it so special because every episode is different because of that person, because of the gang.
For the podcast nerds out here, for the people, for the media nerds, real quick on the production. And by the way, you've been acclaimed for this idea. You've spoken at conferences. You're speaking at On Air, which is a big you know, audio festival in Brooklyn this month, right? This month, February, right?
February.
So you're being acclaimed, right? So you're being acclaimed for this. Again, you have all these experiences. You could tell a story, but you're telling it in a way that's a little bit unique in the podcast and radio world. And just to give you flowers on that, and I'm part of it, so I'm gonna take some credit there too. But the mix that you're putting in is that each episode is produced by is put together by a different producer. So you're the sort of executive producer. But and we see this in TV. We talked about this. We see it in TV where like you have a series and director, and then sometimes it's like Jason Bateman directing this episode of Ozark. Like, oh, he's directing now? Like, but that changes the vibe a little bit of the show. It's the same show, but the vibe. So tell folks what you're doing by incorporating these other producer voices, and also why is that so, and take your own flowers. Why is that revolutionary in this format?
Usually podcasts and a lot of media is made by like one person, right?
Or a set team.
Team.
Right, same people.
It's not changing,
right?
For the whole, or for the season, or for the whole run,
right?
In this scenario, you know, especially in podcasting, it's very like set team, one producer, one host, one executive. So it literally could be a team of like 3 to 4 people.
Sure.
This is a team of, I don't know, I think if I count it all up, 12. Maybe 10, 12 people. Each episode has its own producer. We have 7 episodes. And each of them bring their own stuff. So yeah, it's my story, but it's not my story only. And because if you listen to episode 1, Kristen Bennett produced that. She put her foot in it because she was going through very similar things at around the same time. Right. We have our episode 2. Trey Jones, he just, you'll know. When you know what I'm saying? He's a sensitive creature. And I was like, I need a sensitive creature to bring us down from all that drama. And I need someone with a light touch that cares a lot about the conversation that I was having with Nicole Crowder about our right as a people to sit, as our right to comfort. Right. So then, you know, you keep going on episode by episode by episode, and each producer like fucking puts their whole thing in it.
Yeah.
Like I got an episode down the line that is about just kind of like, I'm doing medical tourism, but what is medical tourism brought up for me as a woman of a certain age? Right. And what does that bring up for my producer as a woman of a certain age, helping a woman of a certain age? Right. So now you have 2 of us trying to figure out life. And she's different than me, right? We have to answer that question in the episode of, you know, you have kids, I don't. How are we doing this together? Because we touch on that, you know? And I'm not afraid to, like, I think a lot of people try to get someone that matches them exactly to like produce their content. And I'm like, no, we could be different. And,
maybe should
everyone,
be. Yeah,
we should be different.
Right.
Because they hit me with angles that about my life I didn't even know. Right. So that's what makes this so different, important, I think, challenging. Yeah. And also lots of fun.
Yeah. I also think and I think what's cool is that just that sort of baseline, that foundation of it's okay to have people to bounce things off of that aren't necessarily
Yeah.
And I'm not all kumbaya, like we can all be peace in the world, you know, but what we talk about here a lot, you know, and I talk about, you know, hip hop and the idea that the peace, love, unity, and having fun, that the hip hop cipher involves anybody from anywhere at any time can come into the cipher. And if you respect this culture, if you respect this circle,
Yes.
I'll hear from you. I'll see what you're doing. I may not, that's not how I do it, but hold on. That's interesting. Show me what you're doing, because we respect the same core principles, and we could tie all that into, it's transferable skills, it's transferable perspectives, right?
And that's the umbrella, the transferable skills and perspectives,
Right.
Because not every person on this team knows all the same things.
Right.
And
Right.
also everyone works differently. So
Right.
I'm catching up to them, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So now I walk out of, let's say I want to get a job as super duper executive producer, TK.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I like it.
And the people go, well, what experience do you have? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, have you ever managed 13 people? I was going to say MFers, but
Right.
have you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you ever had to do that?
Right.
And come out with a good product?
Oh, yes.
I have.
Come on now. And how many times the executive producer has churn underneath, like people come and go, but you still got to maintain the thing and do the thing. It has to be flawless every time.
The thread has to continue. It has to be understandable. It has to, the thing that comes now has to be attached to the thing that came before it. And so does the thing that came before that.
Right.
And then there's stuff in the middle, because of course I can't not.
Right. Right.
Right. So it's a very, the part of the experiment is just that it's a very living, it's a live show.
I mean,
it's a living thing.
Our man said it in the chat. Organic, AG Trap House, organic. Yeah. It's the true meaning of organic. And I want to. We went long. I gotta do this interview.
You gotta do it. You gotta
Lyrical Faith. We gotta do a couple of news bits, because I need you for the hip hop news that isn't about dumb shit. But let's just say real quick, the idea of it, you know, being organic. How much of this did you learn? I got to bring it back to the core here.
Yeah.
From being a hip-hop head in New York City's independent hip-hop scene, running bonfire shows, more bonfire, shouts to more bonfire, shouts to the independent showcases you used to host and run, shouts to the radio station. This is the hip-hop mentality you're coming from, among all the other influences. But tell the people real quick why, when you hear Manny say, yo, hip-hop teaches us to do all of this, tell me why I'm right. Hip
hop birthed me, and hip hop taught me everything I know. And I take the tenets of hip hop into everything I do, and I take it very seriously. And what does every show need, hip hop or otherwise? A stage manager. What does every show need, hip hop or otherwise? A host. What does every show need, a hip hop or otherwise? A producer. And the shows that I happen to be brought up on are hip hop shows. Okay, hip hop on the radio, live events. We plugging in wires. We making sure shit is happening, and it hits at blank PM every time. What did our show? Our show, More Bonfire, the event. We weren't late. We were run like the armed forces, right? We gonna start at 10 o'clock. Get into it, right? We're gonna do an open mic. I'm gonna be 3 steps ahead of you every freaking time, right? I bring all that. The radio station. How many shows did we have at any given point? At any given point that you asked us, well, how many shows we were managing? Maybe 10 to 12.
That's right. Because like people don't understand, the radio station you ran, it wasn't just your show. It was like 10. I was one of the shows. I was 2 of the shows. I was 3 of the shows. But like, you had mad people to manage. This is freestyle. This is cipher mentality. Yeah. This is all the things that we learned from being like in these sessions.
When COVID happened, bro.
Come on. Pivoted.
We pivoted and we plugged in. We were one of the earliest people to sound decent when COVID hit, because we figured out how to get live broadcasting from the crib without it sounding crazy when everyone else was sounding crazy. So you know what I'm saying? What is that? Right. That's hip hop. We gonna figure it out. We're gonna break the turntable. We're gonna make the thing go. We're gonna scratch the record, and we're gonna figure it out.
That's right. We're gonna remix it. We're gonna smack it, flip it, rub it down.
Yeah.
We're gonna turn it inside out, and we're gonna make $1 out of 15 cents. We're gonna do all the things, all the cliches that come from like that mentality. Is like the proof is in the pudding, man.
and it all comes from one more thing about hip hop
Uh-huh.
in terms of hip hop and it's everything about it
Yeah.
is it's a culture groomed by people that never learned officially from someone.
Yes.
And in none of these areas did I ever learn from someone first. I didn't have a mentor and none of that shit. I made a lot of mistakes.
Yep.
I think about those mistakes every day. So now as I get better and more adult in this show, I'm making less mistakes. I'm probably making mistakes that y'all can't see. But hip hop taught me because hip hop just had to go and figure it out too.
That's right.
Right?
Yep. There's also like even in the mistakes, even in the failures, or even in the experiments, or even the okay, we can do this for a little while until they figure it out, and then they capitalize off of it, which happens all the time for Black folk in general, for hip hop folk as well.
For sure.
The pioneers, we invent a thing, you do a thing, you make it right, and then they say, oh. First they say no. First they say, get out of here with that. We're going to combat it. And then when they realize they can't, it's like if you can't beat them, join them. Then they take it over and they capitalize off of your brilliance. And then you have to do the next thing.
That's what I'm so scared of, Manny, because I think a lot of us has been through this iteration of, you know, we iterate many things.
Yeah.
And I'm very, I hate to, you know, I don't want to live in this moment, but I'm scared that this show is going to be, you know, people are going to recognize it for what it is and what it's giving. And then someone's going to come behind me and they're going to see the mistakes and they're going to iterate. They're going to make it better. And instead of making it better with me, they're going to make it better without me. And I'm so scared of that happening, but we push on, you know?
Yeah, I hear you. I know you, and you'll just by the time they do that, you're gonna be doing the next brilliant thing.
I'll be doing
that's
something
just
else.
how it goes, and,
You know?
and maintaining and succeeding and thriving, and you know what, you know,
they can try it. All these people, they can try it, but they'll never have the sauce. You know, they'll never have the juice.
Yeah, let them know where they can find everything, all the end of interview things that we've done for 20-something years. Let them know how to follow you and all that stuff. And then let's do a couple of news bits together, and then I'm going to play this wonderful interview that I have to preview this next thing.
Let's do it. Okay, bet. You can find the show, The Secret Life of TK Dutes, all places where podcasts are. The episodes are there, they're coming, and they're just like a real-time journey. So just come with us on this journey.
Yep.
And even the stuff in between are important to the story. So go ahead. If you want to keep up with us on our Minneapolis thing, on our Minneapolis check-ins, you can follow me at Tasty Quiche, Keish. That's how you spell that. Or at AG Trap House. That's my creative partner. And if you don't have time to catch us on live at any point, you can find the replay. We will always push it to Bonfire Radio's IG, BOND, Bonfire Radio, or TK in the AM.
Right.
So that's why you don't let go of your socials, because you might come back and use them again.
That's right.
We are right now.
That's right. Well, Lord knows y'all were so ahead of your time. Bonfire Radio shall rise again. I say it now, and I've said it for a while. 100%. Shouts to Wild Eyed Bob Knutson in the building. Of course, he's subscribed. He's checking out your podcast. He's gonna love it. AG Trap House, our man C, said in real time, we built and ran a radio station for a decade. Which is crazy. Again, ahead of your time. And you know that I've always, been the loudest cheerleader. And Bonfire Radio will rise again. Even if not in its form, it still stays alive in you and see. And what y'all doing with Minnesota check-ins and coming on here, and doing this. And shouts to Miss Obando, of course, who says it's what makes us all vulnerable, but you put the footprint down and no one like you. And so you're getting your we recognize what you do out here. And once again, AG Trap House said, no guidebook. No guidebook. There's never a guidebook, which makes the most beautiful things when it's just, from the people, by the people, of the people. You know what I mean? So thank you, TK. I love you and C and all the work that y'all done. I've just been so honored and privileged and humbled to be a part of y'all brilliance over these years. To see it continue obviously in the work that we do together, we've done a few projects together. So my bias is on full display. But I dare you peoples, listen to this podcast and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't tell me that I'm blowing smoke up TK ass. Come on now.
Nah.
You
don't
already,
do that.
nah, I would never.
Nope.
I just wouldn't have you on here. I'd make excuses. I'm like, no, what happened was I'm not going live tonight, but no, let me stop.
Don't make him a liar. Go listen to the show, guys.
Go listen to the show. And you come back and you tell me if I'm leading you wrong. I never lead y'all wrong. All right. TK, you gonna stay around for a minute. We're gonna do the segment of the show. We went so long, but I don't care. If anyone's, whoever's watching us is getting the greatest gems. And if you're watching on the replay, you can watch it on your own time. So I'm not really concerned about how late y'all staying up. Are you an hour back where you happen to be in the undisclosed location?
I am.
So it's still early for you. You gonna hang out for a minute.
So I'm good. Yeah.
So we're gonna do a little segment. Now you're not gonna see this unless you watch it on the YouTube. But we're gonna do a segment that I like to call
hip hop news that isn't about dumb shit.
I know. It's a little delayed. It's called hip hop news that isn't about dumb shit.
Yes.
It's my segment. So I'm changing the screen around. Oh, look at all this magical mystery. You got to see. This is so beautiful. Okay. I'm very happy.
Hip hop news that isn't about dumb shit.
Look, it's a lot going on here. This is a lot to do, y'all. By the way, the reason why I had you on this, not the only reason why, one of the reasons why this on the show is like when people hear me say things like hip hop could save America, and hip hop is and so many people, especially if you're removed from the culture, especially if you're removed from the inside baseball circles that we deal with, where we do see what I'm about to describe, you're not familiar with it. You're saying, I don't understand. Like, how can rap, change? Like, it doesn't even do that anymore. Like, and people are like, no, there's still some people that do that, but they're like, okay, Kendrick Lamar, what else? And I'm like, I'm not even talking about the music. I'm not even talking about the entertainment. I'm not even talking about, and yes, there's music and there's artists that put the art out there in the world, and that's still important as ever. But what I'm saying is, TK, everything you just said in the past 40 minutes that we talked about comes from a little bit, or a decent amount, as you said at the end, your connection to hip hop.
Yeah.
You're not rapping about Minneapolis.
No. I'm adjacent, if anything.
But you
in terms of performance, I'm hip hop. I'm not what the people think of, but I'm hip hop.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying the gems, the idea of hip hop could save America is not necessarily just attached to the entertainment side, the music as expression. That's important, and we could talk about that all day about how the industry doesn't really function like that anymore, and when we don't see a lot of that, people give up. They say, well, it's not like we don't have protest music anymore, so what are we doing? It's not happening. It's not that anymore. Someone literally said, someone put up a story, which I covered, I'm about to cover right now in Hip Hop News That Isn't About Dumb Shit, a new course at Princeton University about the history of women in hip hop at Princeton.
Okay.
Someone put it out on, maybe it was hot97.com or whatever, put the story out. And of course, Facebook, internet, the amount of misogyny and racism in the comment section was egregious. But even some people that you could tell are from the communities are like, I don't even know what this means. I don't even know what hip hop is anymore. And there's this narrative out there that persists. I will talk about it with Lyrical Faith real quick in the interview we're going to play next, that this doesn't exist in hip hop music and culture as a whole. Yeah. And I'm here every week disproving this. So whoever gonna listen, but you're an example of this. You didn't come out here talking about nothing about hip hop music songs or but what you're doing comes from that DNA.
Yeah. Nah, you know what? I saw that article too, and I was like, oh, cool. Like we can never have enough classes, courses, or whatever about all the things hip hop has offered us, especially women in the industry.
Yep.
I mean, maybe let me put my tinfoil hat on for 2
100%,
seconds.
I'm with you. Yep.
And I'm not, where I find things to be suspect is often, I don't know what this institution is going to do with the content. You know what I'm saying? Like how they're going to deliver it. This is my little tinfoil hat.
No, you're right. We talk about this all the time.
We need to teach it and to teach it right, we need to teach it once so that we can teach it better the next time, so we can teach it better the third
Right.
time. So we have to trust the process and hope that the person that put forth this program really does care about women.
Yep.
Really does care about hip hop.
Yep.
Really does care about women in hip hop.
Right.
And then to bring that to the next generation through a university standpoint, because universities got issues of their own.
Yep.
Institutions
100%.
have issues of their own.
100%.
So this is my little tinfoil 2 cents, but I'm trusting the process that hip hop will make it through. And all these people that's talking, these people ain't going to school.
That's right.
So shut the F up.
That's right. Now,
You're not paying the tuition.
100%. Now, I will happen to say that we do this all the time on the show. We do talk about, we'll start here. This is hip hop news that isn't about dumb shit. It's an interesting piece of news about hip hop, not outside of the, outside of the entertainment, the gossipy, the who got beef with who, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's about hip hop in the institution, in a college course, in a college setting. And we talk about this a lot. I have a lot of hip hop educators on the show, and many of them are absolutely 1 foot in the culture, 1 foot in academia. And they recognize and they talk about and we address all the time. And honestly, I probably don't have anybody on this show that doesn't have that same tinfoil hat or that same guard up, right? To make sure that it's not being abused. It's not being, a gimmick to get butts in seats, as Dr. Gloria Latson-Billings. I don't know if you know, I wrote a book.
What?
I did.
you?
Right?
Show us the book, man.
Come on now. And in this book, I had folks like Dr. Gloria Latson-Billings, who is a foundational, culturally relevant, culturally responsive, pioneer, who then, said, hey, hip hop is a way to connect with young people, to bring people to make sure that we're respecting the culture, the cultural lens, the cultural viewpoint of our students in the academic space.
Right.
And when you come in with that care and intention and that purpose, you enhance the lives of these students,
Period.
full stop, period. Right.
Yeah.
But we talk about, and her interview in my book, and again, you can't tell me I'm not talking to the pioneer. You can't say, hey, man, you making these things up. This is nonsense. You don't come with receipts. And I'm like, I'm talking to the brilliant pioneers who do this work. Said, no, we're always on guard for that, for that gimmicky, for that, oh, it's a fun thing to do. It's, we can bring some hip hop into the classroom. So when I advocate for something, I've already vetted it a little bit.
Yes.
So I will say that the Miseducation, the Women of Hip Hop course at Princeton University, is run by, you might remember Chesney Snow.
Yeah.
From the American Beatbox Championship.
Beatbox dude, yeah.
Come on, this guy advocated for the beatbox, as an art form, ran the American Beatbox Championships for 9 years. Super, lover, respecter of the art form, the culture of hip hop. He's at Princeton. He's teaching.
All right.
And again, when we say we don't get these artists, we don't get people talking about hip hop, about political issues, I'm like, you got hip hop heads that are teaching the youth about the culture.
Yeah.
That's pretty important too. So shouts to Chesney Snow. Gonna have him on Eternia. You know the MC Eternia from Toronto.
Yes.
She's also an educator in this class.
All right then. So we good. We good, guys.
See, we're good.
I took the hat off. It's
there
fine.
you go.
Everything's fine.
So I love, but I love that we have to make sure that, as advocates, as watchdogs, sort of, that's as our role as media figures or, personalities or whatever you want to call us, we're always watching, like, all right, who's in charge of this? Who's doing this? What are they trying to do?
Yeah.
And so in this case, I think, anyway, think about it, look about it, look into it. It's an interesting fact. By the way, real quick, you will find these stories like this, hip hop news that isn't about dumb-ish, in the Hip Hop Can Save America newsletter. It's on Substack. You'll see it on the screen right down there, mannyfaces.substack.com. You might not have heard about this story. You might have, because this got picked up by a few of the hip hop media sites that are out there. But a lot of what we talk about here won't be. And as much as I hate it, and they should, they won't have Tasty Keyshawn. So
that's right.
This is where you're going to hear this. I usually start with sort of the sad story when I do this segment.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. We'll give some respect to Michael 5000 Watts. This was the Houston co-founder of Swisher Records, Swisher House Records. Obviously, DJ Screw, Chopped and Screwed, Houston, big impact on the hip hop South. Passed away. The DJ and businessman died January 30th. Was News dropped that he was hospitalized very quickly, had some heart issues, and unfortunately passed away. So we do the dove emoji and we give flowers.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like when someone major.
What is it?
Houston. Yeah, there you go. There you go. 100%. Bun B, of course, said, Houston, we lost a legend today. The Trill Burgers family sends deepest condolences to the family and friends of Real Swisher House co-founder Michael 5000 Watts. Paul Wall, you know, who got his first break rapping, you know, along with Watson, would later join the Swisher House label, posted a tribute. I want to extend heartfelt gratitude for his guidance and friendship. My prayers and condolences are with his family during this difficult time. A tough loss for Texas and for hip-hop. Thank you, Watts, for everything. This was a major player, man. Swisher House, Houston. That Houston hip-hop scene was heavy for a minute, man.
Yeah.
That whole sound, that whole chopped and screwed was like...
Yeah. Then for me, as a New Yorker, I'll just say, like, you know, when they brought that whole moment to the East Coast with, like, Big Pimpin' and stuff, you know, you know, that's where my familiarity comes from, even though, like, there's a broader sense of that. But once they, you know, they bring it to your own backyard like that, unforgettable.
Once it breaks through to the East Coast bias, because we did. Yeah. It was like down south was bullshit until Outkast came out. We're like, oh, these dudes is kind of nice. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I ain't gonna hold you.
Well deserved, man.
Yeah.
So accolades, well deserved. Rest in peace to that, bro, man.
100%. And again, you know, I don't know if this was a chronic health issue. You know, we hear a lot about, especially black men, you know, but men in general, us hard-headed asses don't like to go to the doctor and stay. I'm not saying that this was his case. Right. It's just a reminder because he was young, bro. Yeah. He was like, I don't know if it says here, but had to be like around 50, maybe 52, if I recall correctly.
Ooh,
like that's
a baby.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just had a birthday. Y'all know me, Team Aquarius. I just had a birthday and I'm older than that. So I need to, So make sure you go to the doctor, people. You got to check up on things. Again, going and rest in peace, 5,000. So going back to the Minneapolis thing, again, hip hop related, there's actually another artist, and we heard a lot from in Ferguson, Michael Brown, and then St. Louis, and we heard from Tef Poe, right? So Tef Poe was the artist on the ground, you know, out in the midst of all the, you know, wildness that was happening in that time. Yeah. There's always a hip hop artist on the ground. Always a hip hop artist. And again, if you know me, my Newsbeat family, I love getting journalism from hip hop artists. You don't have to rap that ish. But
just tell us.
Just tell us. Because you're a storyteller. You're an observer. Like most rappers, I don't care if you don't like them or not. Most rappers see things and then they project it. Now, some of it is embellished and, you know, pure fiction. But the ones who like tell it like it is are fantastic journalists. I did it with the Newsbeat podcast. And Nerd, N-U-R-D, Nerd, is a hip hop artist from Minneapolis who was attacked and detained by federal officers.
Oh no!
In Minneapolis. So it says Twin Cities rapper and activist Nerd, N-U-R-D, stopped by The Current, which is a local media outlet, The Current in Minneapolis, studios to tell the story of what was supposed to be a regular Saturday afternoon turned into the harrowing experience of being detained by federal agents shortly after the 37-year-old ICU nurse Alex Preddy was killed in Minneapolis. They did a whole interview with him. And again, it goes back to what we were talking before. There are people on the ground that speak our language. They just kick it and they'll tell you what's going on. You don't have to go through the news channels. You don't even have to watch Don Lemon. You listen, a lot of people have a lot of things to say about Don Lemon. They're not everyone's, you know, favorite guy, one way or the other. And even though he's independent and not shackled by corporate, that may not be your guy.
Yes.
That's fine.
But the thing is happening. Like the detaining, the arrests, the beatdowns, the murders. It's happening to people you like. It's happening to people you don't like. And if you know, we out here talking about, they out here talking about freedom, right? Who's taking the freedoms away? The people that cry about freedom the most.
It's wild.
Y'all crying about freedom, but you're arresting every Tom, Dick, and Harry that walks down their block.
It's crazy.
So I don't even really know what to do with like that information.
Yeah.
So The young man, the dude, he's out right now.
Yep, and he stopped by
Good.
the studios to do it. So I'm going to link to. By the way, again,
Okay.
you have to sign up for the newsletter to get all these links delivered to you. I'm telling you stories that you can go Google, but I'm going to hand deliver them to you. So why would you do anything else but subscribe at mannyfaces.substack.com? It's pretty simple. I give this all this stuff to you. Hand curated with love and delivered in a basket into your inbox with a little bow on top. I'll play a real quick clip of him talking. Yeah. So the link I first showed was a long interview with the current. That's an NPR affiliate, I think. So there's an audio version. But here he is talking to the local CBS station in Minnesota.
This is real. This is life or death. You could die just for saying, I don't like this.
I know you can't probably hear this, TK.
A local hip-hop artist says he thought he was going to die at the hands of federal agents. Local star Nerd D says they assaulted him at a protest following the death of Alex Preddy.
He told his story to our Reg Chapman.
This is where Nerdy shines.
Oh, nobody can hear it.
Practicing his craft.
Oh, you can hear it. Okay, good. They can hear it.
It was the events of January 24th that forced him out of his comfort zone and into the streets.
I went out there to voice my hurt, voice my pain, exercise my First Amendment right to say that I just don't think it's cool to kill people in the street.
While taking part in the protest, Nerdy says things got hectic.
There's flashbangs and there's gas everywhere. So I walk calmly, I walk slowly with my hands up. I was just being grabbed by somebody. And so I began to run, and when I was thrown to the ground, I was told that I was under arrest for assaulting a federal officer. That's what I was told.
Nerdy says he was hit in the back by some sort of projectile, and while on the ground, he kept repeating,
I said, my name is Matthew James Obadiah Allen. I'm a United States citizen. I have done nothing wrong.
He thought they would be the last words he would ever say.
I'm grateful. I'm alive. I'm here. I've been able to hug my wife and see my friends, and that is not something that was guaranteed in that moment.
Nerdy says he is proud to be a Minnesotan and glad to see his state standing up to what he calls an occupation by federal agents.
You're incredibly brave. This is not easy. You shouldn't have to do this, but the fact that you are isn't nothing. It is powerful. It is what is needed.
The artist known for storytelling says he will use his platform to tell the story of what's happening here in Minnesota.
I get to use my voice to say, like, we're done with this. Yeah.
With photojournalist Chris Cruz, Reg Chapman, WCCO News.
Nerdy says that he has a team of attorneys to represent him as he pursues legal action against DHS, ICE, and Border Patrol.
This is real.
Yeah. So it's a longer conversation, but there's a lot of people that talk about the lack of. Joe Budden just said it on his podcast. Hip hop is silent about all this ICE stuff. Hip hop don't be saying nothing. Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Nerdy is hip hop. So is he saying something?
You know what he's saying, Manny? He and his friends are not saying nothing. Well, he might be saying something, but his friends, because if those are all your colleagues, right? Well, kudos to you, Joe Budden, for calling out your colleagues, because that's how I'm going to receive it.
There you go. There you go. Now, what I would love, and you know me, I would love if Joe Budden, at the same time, calling out his colleagues, calls up some of the folks that don't get that level of, visibility, who are actually out there doing the thing you say no one in hip hop is doing. I mean, that's just me. So if he won't, that's all right. That's what I'm here for. That's what we do here. Moving on with hip hop news that isn't about dumb-ish, because I'll go on a rant about that for hours. Two quick stories, real quick. I want you to check this out. Again, subscribe to the newsletter to go down this rabbit hole. I talk all the time. We have so many people on the show about hip hop being used as a mental health tool, as a way to improve mental health. And here is a study that had come out from two folks at the Virginia Tech University. The headline says, "A new spin on ADHD treatment. Researchers are studying how DJing and hip hop music production could help improve ADHD symptoms in young adults through creative, non-drug therapy."
La-dee-da.
Come
friend.
on. Now, if you watch this show, if you listen to this podcast, this ain't new to you. So it's nice to like another study, but we need studies. We need stuff in literature. We need stuff on the books. So I'm totally okay with this. In fact, it was put together by, the study was 60 young adults enrolled in a pilot program exploring whether learning to DJ could help improve symptoms of ADHD. It was co-led by a neuroscientist, Julia Basso, and hip-hop scholar, Craig Arthur. The study is testing music making as a creative, movement-based form of non-drug therapy. Craig Arthur was on Hip Hop Could Save America 5 years ago. So we be up on these things.
And he's in the he did the study. All right now.
Now we've had Dr. Elliot Gann. We just had Teens Under Construction. We had my man Andrew Wang. We've had, Raphael Travis. We've had so many people talking about the intersection of mental health as an area where hip hop can improve young people's lives. And we talk about it ad nauseum, but I love when we got some scientific data to back it up, because there's be some people saying, sure, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, if you look at the data, you look at the receipts, it's right there. So I love this. We're going to link to this study. One of the quotes from Basso says, ADHD medications can be effective, but they don't work for everyone. They can come with side effects. And for some people, the effects wear off by the end of the day. We're exploring whether something like DJing could be another tool people use to manage their symptoms and support their well-being.
Yeah.
If that's
I feel like,
go ahead.
I wish they would have asked us. Because we could have answered that. You know what I'm saying? Because it engages all parts of our brains, right? DJing, beat matching, forethought, right?
Yep.
People with ADHD are always 12 steps ahead.
Right. The DJ have to scan the crowd and know what to play next and all these things.
Reading the room. Like, I wish they would have asked. They could have saved a lot of money, but we here. Like,
I mean, you got to prove it. Like
we need the papers. We
do. We absolutely do.
And we got papers.
And this is the wonderful thing about the combination of hip hop and academia, which again, tinfoil hats we careful of, but when you have practitioners in the room. And again, Craig Arthur's been doing the Virginia Tech study. They have a whole hip hop lab. They bring the community in. They do music production. They do beat making. They do studies. Like it's a practice. Someone who loves the culture and says there's a place for these worlds to combine. And when we do that, we can improve lives. And when we improve the lives, we can print the receipts so that we can replicate and scale. And so absolutely valuable. Wild Eyed Bob says, where's Andrew Wang? This is his beat. Shouts to Andrew Wang, big supporter of the show. You're right. He's I think he's sleeping. He said that he was recovering from an illness. He didn't get a chance to
we'll see him on the replay.
We'll see him on the replay. He'll definitely be in the building. Shouts to Andrew Wang, big supporter of this building, of this show. Not in the building, but yeah. So anyway, similarly, in the BBC, this isn't just U.S.-centric, because I don't know if you know this, but Americans can be very self-centered.
Us-centric.
Yeah, U.S.-centric. And when we talk about hip-hop and on the show, it is called Hip Hop Could Save America. So admittedly, I'm very domestic-minded, because I think once we get it done here, we can do great things across the world. But also, even though we exported hip-hop across the world, the rest of the world does hip-hop a little bit differently than we do here sometimes. And we have a lot of value that could be re-imported back into it. But I thought it was really cool that you have this happening in Virginia Tech and you have this happening in England. The headline is, Students Use Music to Open Up About Trauma. And it's basically the same thing. Students at a school in Birmingham, not Alabama, Birmingham, are turning pain into poetry through a new music program, and program is spelled with an E at the end, so you know it's English.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you know it's really over there. Programming.
Aimed at helping very Bridgerton, aimed at helping young people process trauma. The program E, called Hip Hop Healing, gives students at Holy Trinity Catholic School in Small Health the opportunity to write and record original music about issues affecting their lives, including bereavement, family conflict, and mental health. The initiative, created by art teacher James Bennett, was designed to help young people express personal experiences and challenges through songwriting and performance. again,
Yeah.
absolutely nothing new to anyone who pays attention to us. But every time we see it pop up in a new spot, in a new school, in a new place, that's the culture making, improving lives. And so we love to see it and shout it out, because you won't hear about this when a lot of places talk about hip hop. Give me a thumbs up if you're feeling me. Make sure you got to do all the YouTube things. Come on, y'all. We're a very small channel still, but we rising up. We coming up. Give us a thumbs up. Shouts to my friend TK Dutes in the building, helping me do the hip hop news that isn't about dumb shit. We are going to go long tonight, but if you can't stay up, no problem. Catch it on the replay. If you're just tuning in, you're in for a treat. My homie Imani Wallace, aka Lyrical Faith, is going to come on and preview the Black AF, the Black Artistic Freedom Conference that's happening February 21st at UMass Amherst. I'll give 2 more stories and then we're out of here. And we'll go to that. You remember Mega Ran? Mega Ran was the homie. Again, been through the New York hip hop scene, did some things. Brother was nominated for a Grammy.
Wow.
For Buddy's Magic Treehouse, and there's a story on Fox 10, and it says Raheem Jarbo, a former Phoenix middle school teacher known to fans as the hip-hop artist Mega Ran, is in Los Angeles this weekend, just the past weekend, for a Grammy Award. His album's Buddy's Magic Treehouse is nominated for Best Children's Music Album. And we know him. Like, we know him. He used to be, and still is, a hip-hop artist. But it says the nominated album was born out of his desire to create more variety in the music he played at home. He began writing hip-hop songs to help his son with daily tasks like brushing teeth or learning the alphabet. The album title features his son's nickname, Buddy. So Buddy's Magic Treehouse, how fatherhood inspired a Phoenix artist Grammy nod, was covered on Fox 10. We'll play it real quick.
Teacher is now a Grammy-nominated rapper.
Talk about a career change.
I know.
Unbelievable. His album, Buddy's Magic Treehouse, is up for Best Children's Music Album at this year's Grammys. Megan Spector joins us now in studio tonight with more about his journey to music's biggest night. Megan.
Yeah, by day, Raheem Jarbo was a middle school teacher here in the Valley. By night, he was performing as a hip-hop artist. But it wasn't until his decision to become a foster parent that ultimately shifted the pace of his music career. To his students, he's Mr. Jarbo. To his fans, he's Mega Ran. But it's the title of Dad that serves as his true inspiration for his music.
He was just a few months old, and when he was 2, we were able to adopt him. And that's what led to the change in my music. Right?
That pivot paved the way for Raheem Jarbo's now Grammy-nominated album.
And I like Baby Shark, but after the 70th time, I kind of wanted to give him something a little different. So I was like, I think I can write the songs that I want to bring into our home.
Writing children's-based hip-hop songs straight out of his very own parenting handbook.
He doesn't like brushing his teeth, so we wrote a song about brushing teeth. When I wanted him to learn his alphabet, we made a song about the alphabet.
His son, not only the inspiration behind his lyrics, but the album name.
His nickname is Buddy. His name's Zion, but we call him Buddy. And so the album is Buddy's Magic Treehouse.
A Valley Middle School teacher turned full-time artist.
Anywhere that they would give me a mic in Phoenix, I would play.
Now he's trading local dives for the Grammys, where he's admittedly excited about potential red carpet run-ins.
It's got to be the girls from K-Pop Demon Hunters. Honestly. And my son, too. He loves them. He's like, Ruby. He loves K-pop. So if I can meet those girls, oh, man, I would then become the coolest dad ever.
I spoke with Raheem right after he got to Los Angeles to kick off the award show weekend. His son, who's now 4 years old, is right there with them. I think I speak for all of us. We'll be rooting for him back here home in the Valley. Live tonight in studio, Megan Spector, Fox 10 News.
Yes, we will. Great story.
That is so cool. Great.
Shouts to the homie Mega Ran and his Grammy nomination. That's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
For a second, you said Buddy's Magic Treehouse, and I said, this song was about weed for a second.
Buddy the Magic Dragon? What are you talking about? No, this is kid friendly. We love this for him. And again, we know him. We know of him.
Yeah.
When I was doing Breathflex magazine, I covered some of his music, and it's great to see. Now, however,
and it shows the growth though of us all. right? We have to grow from. Now we're in parenthood time, you know, we're mothers and fathers. So.
And teachers. And this is what I keep saying.
Yeah.
I preach this gospel all the time. But be like, yo, I don't necessarily need to see a superstar making a song about something performative, whatever. And like, your hip hop artists necessarily couldn't make a living doing the type of hip hop music that we would like to see, because there's no money in that. Yeah. And some of y'all not supporting those type of artists that you keep saying you want. Real talk. So they went and became teachers.
Yeah.
And then they went to create children's hip hop to show that our young people, when you show a young person hip hop at an early age, and you say, when you get old enough to get your own phone, or you could, you know, be on TikTok, or you could be on YouTube, you're going to see and hear a type of hip hop that isn't my type of hip hop. And you might get consumed and absorbed by that. And we'll criticize you for it later on, which is what's happening now. But if you show them when they're young, by the way, this is also hip hop. This is hip hop. This beautiful, you know, storytelling, this beautiful, positive self-empowerment, like all the things. Show them young so that when they get out there and they see that first level of hip hop, that top level of hip hop, that commercial industry driven hip hop, they won't be so sucked into it, because they're gonna be like, oh, I get that. Sure, there's a time and a place. But I also came up on Buddy's Magic Treehouse.
It's, if you show the people what's underneath the iceberg, then they won't be impressed by just the tip. And that goes for a lot of things.
Come on with the bars. I say too many words and then you say a sentence and sum it all up. TK. TK for the win. Shouts to our man Mega Ran. Now, fortunately / unfortunately, I don't believe he won.
Well, he's now Grammy nominated.
100%. Because our other homie, the homie Fuchs, and his daughter Aura are Grammy winners. Maryland father, daughter, who I reported on 2 episodes ago. My man Fuchs. Now, Fuchs used to run with us in the New York independent hip hop scene. Shouts to Freestyle Mondays. Shouts to Supreme Bars. Quote from Stereo Gum: "We've got a new record." Now, not only did they win, you see it on the stage. There's Future and his daughter Aura, and they had they put out an album in the children's music album. The album's called Harmony. We played a clip from it last week. We've got a new record for the youngest Grammy winner ever. Tonight, Maryland father-daughter duo Fuchs and Aura V took home the 2026 Best Children's Music Album for Harmony. Fuchs is a stage name of Maryland musician and teacher. You see some parallels here.
Yep.
Harold Williams II and Aura V, his daughter. Right now, she's around 8 years and 7 months old, and she breaks the record for the youngest Grammy winner ever. We know Fuchs. I was just social mediaing with Fuchs. We was just kicking it because I did just a random video one night, like a couple months ago, and I was like, again, I'm like, I keep hearing people saying that hip hop ain't ish, like blah blah blah, and I'm like, what you talking about? My man Fuchs and his daughter just nominated for a Grammy, bro. They doing beautiful children's music, hip hop oriented. Like, what are you talking about? Where are you coming from with this incomplete knowledge about what hip hop is delivering to people these days?
Look at that. This is beautiful, bro. So
I want to play his. His speech. Yeah. So you'll see it on the YouTube, TK, but the rest of the people see it right here. Shouts to Fuchs and Aura V. Best Children's Music Album, which is crazy that we had Mega Ran and Fuchs in the same. Come on, man. This is just beauty for love. And you know what? As much as we talk about the Grammys not always getting it right, I'm just saying, check it out.
Giving all praise, glory, and honor to God. Children's music is more than a genre. It is an intention of artists who have dedicated our crafts to educating, entertaining, and empowering the next generation, which is our highest calling, to care for our children globally. And I don't think I'm being controversial. I don't think I'm being controversial when I say this. We are failing our children. Anytime we vote against feeding, protecting, clothing, educating our kids, we are condemning our collective future. That's why I made this album. That's what called me to children's music. This mission, this is activism, this is revolution. Modeling these things like harmony, community, self-love, because you can't love other people unless you truly love yourself. So shout out to our collaborators, Genevieve Goings, Divinity Rocks, Van Van, Megaran, Kimberly Stewart, Caitlin Becker, all the homies on this album. My dad is on this album. Shout out to Pops, my mom is here. Shout out to my wife, Ebony. Shout out to my agent, Stephanie Mayers. Gail Ward, my consultant. Shout out to Miss Rachel. She ain't on this album, but she doing God's work right now. You know what I'm saying? But that's enough about me. Give it up for the youngest individual Grammy winner in history, my daughter, Aura B.
I just want to say that it is an honor to be here today. I was not expecting us to go this far. Shout out to Leve, because I just saw her on the red carpet, and I got to talk to her for a little bit. And I know that she won a Grammy too, so congratulations to her.
You cannot tell me that the kids won't be all right.
I love that.
You can't tell me the kids won't be all right if we do our part.
Amen.
If you're not happy with the way of the culture, then you know what? Call up Fuchs. You don't listen to me. You should listen to me, but if you don't
and
like
what he said, we're failing our children if we don't teach them, if we don't clothe them, we don't feed them, we don't protect them, which takes us back to the fullest circle of our friends in Minneapolis. The neighbors are taking care. They're making sure they get into the schools. They're making sure they are getting home safe. They're making sure they're educated. They are making sure they're entertained in this time of occupation in our own freaking country. So yes, shout out to Miss Rachel.
100%. 100%.
And the rest of them.
And the rest of them.
Manny, real quick, I gotta say my battery about to die.
No, perfect timing. We're done. We're done. This has been, as I like to say, nope.
Hip hop news that isn't about dumb shit.
So there you go. TK, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's an honor and a privilege to be in space with you every single time. Go do your thing. I'm going to now get into the next segment. Again, we run along tonight, but it's so worth it. Just stick around, folks. If you're watching, just stick around. This wonderful, wonderful person is coming up next. Imani Walls, a.k.a. Lyrical Faith, to preview the Black AF conference. We'll talk about it real quick. Thank you for everything you do. Again, follow TK. TK Tasty Keys, TK in the AM. Google her, find her on LinkedIn, podcast, Speaking to the People, the Secret Life of TK Dutes podcast, everything you need to know. If you know this person, you are a much better person.
Appreciate you, bro. Yo, don't play. Invite me out somewhere, y'all. I'll come see you. I'll come to a town near you. Don't play with me.
Let's go.
But right now, I'm going to hop into the YouTube chat with the rest of them.
Jump in. You're going to like this next segment. Let's go.
All right. Peace.
All right. Yep.
Thank you.
Shouts to Wild Eyed Bob. Enjoyed the segment. Appreciate you. Word up. Oh, let me put up again. Miss Obando, love you, TK. Stay safe. Of course, she's out and about in the world. Wild Eyed Bob. Wonderful segment. Thank you, man. This was live too. This is crazy. And we didn't it's been wild. It's been wild putting this together. And again, follow TK wherever you can find her. She is absolutely 100% one of my favorite people on the planet. And I think you know why. So without further ado, I have to get into this. It's super important that I talk about this conference that's coming up. It all ties together. It's Black History Month. Give me a thumbs up, give me a share, give me a comment. Make sure you're doing all the things here. It's Black History Month. I actually love the fact that I had two brilliant Black women start off the show with us. If you know me, I wouldn't have it any other way. I give the flowers. I make sure that the voices get heard. It's if I have a little bit of possibility. I just want to amplify the voices of the people that I admire and that I think need to be heard. So it's the best I can do, and I'm going to keep doing it. The Black AF, Black Artistic Freedom Conference 2026 is coming up February 21st. I'm honored, privileged, humbled to be, I applied to present because I talk about hip hop, and they are talking about hip hop this year at this conference at UMass Amherst. She's going to tell you all about it. Let me tell you who we're going to speak with today. She's the organizer of this conference. It's happening February 21st, UMass, Massachusetts. And I just have to, I had her bio up. Where's her bio? Okay, so I'm gonna read over here, but y'all look at me over here. Check it out. Her name is Imani J. Wallace, but you should know her as Lyrical Faith. That's her poet MC name. A Bronx native born and raised, Lyrical Faith is a Black American educator, cultural curator, and international award-winning spoken word poet. Her words have graced stages beyond NYC to impact cities around the country and countries around the world. She's been in France, South Africa, Belize, Ukraine, New Zealand, and Mexico. She's a PhD candidate in social justice education at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, examining the social impact of artistic expression for Black communities through hip-hop education, one of my favorite intersections. She's toured colleges and universities across the country and has been featured on acclaimed programs such as the world-famous Apollo Theater and America's favorite game show, Family Feud. She's a 3-time Woman of the World Poetry Slam finalist, a 2-time Bronx Poet Laureate finalist, the 2015 Syracuse University Poet of the Year, and the inaugural UMass Amherst W.E. Du Bois Center Poet in Residence. She shared stages with icons from Dr. Mark Lamont Hill to Miss Lauryn Hill. She's a graduate of the Public Relations Program at Syracuse University and a master's degree recipient in higher education and student affairs from NYU. This is accolades, pon accolades, beautiful. Her work has appeared on NPR, iHeartRadio, Button Poetry, Right About Now, Huffington Post Black Voices, News 12 The Bronx, and many more. I met her at the Hip Hop Ed conference in New York City, and I saw her perform. And, you know, you kind of get blown away by powerful artists. One of the best. And I've been to a few, you know, spoken word, poetry, slam poetry events in my day. She became one of my favorite artists the first time I saw her. I'm going to play a clip from one of her performances, and then we're going to talk about the conference that she organized, the Black Artistic Freedom Conference at UMass Amherst, where she's studying to get her PhD, and that'll be kicking off Saturday, February 21st. Here's a clip from Imani Wallace, a.k.a. Lyrical Faith, and then we'll talk about why this conference is so important, and I'm so looking forward to being there, even though it's too damn cold to be traveling back to the Northeast, and I'm spoiled now down here in Atlanta. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Check it out. Here is the homie. Let's give her a listen.
I lay down my mental health like I lay my edges, swooping it off to the side, making them look as slick and deceiving as possible. Can't let a stray hair pop up, then everyone will know how I really fall apart. Combing my triggers behind the ear, I think depression get the best of my style. But I am too shy to wear it natural, so I keep it protective for a long while. And on my bad hair days, I do not want to leave my house or my brain or my bed, and I cannot get these thoughts away from my head. And I live alone now, so mama can't hot comb out my wit's end. And it take over my body sometimes, make me statue, make me coffin, make me under the dryer still. I lose heat thinking about all the days I'd rather not be here, practicing how cold my body feel in a casket, trying to not get more numb by the minute, and then I snap out of it. Remembering God treats me like a fresh twist out. Better than whatever I had going on before, and just in time for the days ahead. So with that being said, I will not be measured by the length of my dead ends. These demons cannot cornroll their way underneath my skin. I shall not be broken. Although most days feel like a bad haircut, too embarrassed to admit it, avoiding a comment when I hear it, but knowing I've got to work with what I got, so I strut into that room praying that no one will notice the uneven trim of my spirit, praying that no one will hear the race of my heartbeat thumping, like anxiety is pounding on the front door of my soul, making me unravel on the insides, like my autopilot has spiraled out of control, and I do not like this feeling. I be trapped in my own temple, trying to origami back to peace until I just pull back my fears and brush out my worries and pin up my anxieties and insecurities, running my fingers through every last emotion I have for certainty, wash and set, compress myself in every single way, and I stand in front of a mirror before I leave my house every single day just so I can look real enough to perform for you, so I can act like I pressed some sense into my head before I got here so I could tell you that I am normal and everything feels okay. So I'm gonna need you to shower me with confidence, to remind me the air is catching pieces of my body and stringing them back together as we speak, that my heartbeat is a horse race galloping to the championship, and somehow this finish line will be just what I need. So excuse me if I am a little vain today. Forgive me if I check my reflection 2 or 3 times over, or if anything I say ever sounds like a cry for help. It is not how it seems. I am not doing this to look good for you. I am not trying to impress anyone but myself.
All right, there you go. Lyrical Faith. That piece is called Lay My Edges. You can find it on YouTube. Check out my interview with this brilliant poetess, scholar, and inspiration. So let's go.
Yeah, okay.
All good?
Whenever you're ready.
All right. Peace and love. Thank you right now, off rip, Lyrical Faith. Thank you for joining me on Hip Hop Can Save America. It is an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to have you here with me today. Thank you for taking some time.
Thank you for having me, Manny Faces. I really appreciate you inviting me onto your podcast today.
No doubt. A little bit overdue because I've seen you out in the world. We talked about crossing paths at the Hip Hop Ed conference, and I've been watching your online escapades, performing and doing all this work. And I'd always said that, I'd love to sit down, and have this talk. But then now that we're, a couple weeks away from this conference that you're facilitating at UMass Amherst, the Black AF conference, Black Artistic Freedom. I love the little double entendre there. So let's right now, for just because I love, we're promoting it. It's right out of the gate. It's coming up soon. Let's start there if you can. Just give me, I'd love to have just a little rundown of the conference, whatever, what's planned, what it's going to look like. I'm again honored and privileged and that I'm a part of it. I'm being there. I'm going to come up there and see it firsthand. It's not the first year you've done it. So can you give me an idea, give folks the idea what this conference is about and what's it going to look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, thank you so much for having me. So the Black Artistic Freedom Conference is a dynamic experience centering education and activism through the arts. So it's really just meant to be this hub of Black culture, Black excellence, Black scholarship, Black artistic freedom, right? And so this year, this is our 3rd annual event. I founded this conference back in 2024, and I've worked with a team out of the centers that I work with at the university, but also with a team of graduate and undergraduate students from across the university who come together. And it's really a labor of love, a lot of service and volunteerism, and a lot of sweat, blood and tears to make it.
You make it sound like it's difficult to put together a conference. What are you talking about?
I know. Just walk the park, truly. But I just I'm really grateful for the teams that come together in order to have made this possible for the past 3 years, and my sponsors and my donors as well. But essentially, I work for a research center called the Center of Racial Justice and Youth Engaged Research in the College of Education, and I'm also a fellow for the W.E.B. Du Bois Center. I'm a fellow alum, and I'm also a poet in residence. I'm the first ever poet in residence at the W.E.B. Du Bois Center at UMass. And so, with the combined forces of my work with those two entities, I kind of came and kind of birthed this idea of wanting to produce this conference, which in many ways, conferences have inspired me over the years throughout my journey, throughout my academic journey, my personal journey, my artistic journey, by bringing together people, by being this think tank of energies and creative flow and just inspiration and motivation that really helped me to see myself outside in this larger society that we navigate in, just out, beyond the walls of the academy, which is where I spend most of my time as a PhD candidate,
Yeah.
but just beyond the walls of the academy and seeing how like the work that I do and the work that we all do are in congregation with each other in these spaces that we must navigate in, that allow for us to connect with community and really do that true work that allows for these things that we're reading and kind of these theoretical things that we're discussing and all that. Like, how do we actually really turn that into practice, right? How do we turn that into, how do we put that into fruition? So that is ostensibly what I would like to describe the Black AF conference as. It's putting that work into fruition. What does it mean to talk about hip hop ed and hip hop pedagogy, and what does it mean to talk about Black literacies and critical race theory and our artistic like the history of like art and within social movements and social and political movements, and the now of what is happening in our unique current social and political moments, and how do we come together, because we've always done our best work when we come together and when we inspire and build on each other and work in community. And so the Black Artistic Freedom Conference is a space where we can have community in order to kind of express and show the work that we are doing, how the people have a voice, how the culture has a voice, and how we are speaking up about it.
Yeah, I love it. I often, we're often promoting or talking about these kind of conferences, right? That are always got like either hip hop or culture, or just at the heart of them. And, they're at colleges. So some people are like, I don't know, it's going to be stuffy, going to be corny, going to be whatever. And it's like, no, you don't understand. These kind of conferences that put out a different energy.
Right. And I love what Dr. Christopher Emden said in one of the hip hop ed conferences, which is where we met at. One of the hip hop ed conferences, I believe this was the conference from the year before last, but he described the hip hop ed conference as the unconference.
Right.
And so I, just kind of like on the strength of that, right, and kind of adopting that in a way, I would like to think about conference spaces like this, like Black Artistic Freedom Conference, as the unconference. So not stuffy. People are coming however they please, right? Coming as they are, and we're talking about hip hop, and we're bringing in a poetry slam with these professional artists that are coming through from all over. We are showcasing what it means to think about hip hop in educational spaces, which at one point and at many points and in many places is still this very this unorthodox thing. And so kind of talking about how hip hop relates to social movements, how hip hop is a social movement, a social and cultural movement, and how the arts play a vital role in what we think about organizing and activism, and how we understand and how we do like movements for liberation, because the people have a voice and the people use their voice through their artistic creations.
For sure. Traditionally, and like you say, currently, and it's a weird time because there's been such confluences of, technological changes and social changes and political changes, that what we've seen in the past has been sort of those traditional ways to use the arts or use music or use culture is so different now. So I think that, having a focus on what that means, how much can we learn from the past, how much can we kind of have to remix and flip it, and do it differently today because of the new challenges we're facing. I didn't mention it, it'll be mentioned in the preamble here, but the theme of the conference this year is specifically this, right? It's called TV Off, Hip Hop as the Revolution for Critical Conversations and Resistance to Conform. Sounds smart. but at the heart of it, it is art, culture for, revolutionary thought, liberation and freedom. Why that specific focus this year?
Woo! To that, I would say, why not? Right?
It's never a bad time.
It's never a bad time. And as we know, history repeats itself, and we are living in a specific moment in time where history is repeating itself over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And TV Off, we obviously know that is an ode to Kendrick Lamar's single off of his album dropped in November 2024, GNX. And wow, it feels like that wasn't that long ago. But yeah, GNX. And so he has the song TV Off, and that we know, or we should know, is an ode to Gil Scott-Heron's poem, The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. And so, just the way that this is weaving together is this idea that, like, during the protests, right, that were taking place during the time where Gil Scott-Heron wrote these words, right? It was about this idea of, like, they're trying to distract us with these things while the world is on fire, while we are experiencing social and racial injustices, and we will speak out about this. We will speak back, right? We will use our voices. And this is the part that they will not show on TV, right? This is the part that they will not publicize and highlight, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening. And we will use our voices over and over and over again, even while they try to piss on our heads and tell us that it's raining, right? We will not be shaken or stirred, because when we come together, right, the most powerful thing that we have is our art, is our voice, is our will to be persistent and to speak back when people try to silence us. And so we're living in a time where so in Kendrick Lamar's song, he touches on those themes. He interrogates other themes around and within this idea of being able to kind of, utilize art as this way of speaking up and speaking back, utilizing music, right? And then as we kind of come into this idea of where the theme is for Black AF Conference this year, I'm thinking about this moment that we're in now, amidst so many things happening in society, from the highest office in our country to what is literally happening on the streets of Minneapolis, of Harlem, of just the different places that we see and feel and experience a lot of pain. And so as Black people and in Black culture, right, the arts have always been a pillar of a focal point of power, a focal point of resistance. And I wanted to be able to channel that through the works of this conference as we think about what it means to be able to write history, or to document our history, to document our times during a time where our history is actively being erased, right, and rewritten, and being told that this didn't happen, or this is not important to think about, or, oh, get over it, right? Once again, there are folks that are pissing on our head and trying to tell us that it's raining, right? And so our art is a way in which we are able to just really counter storytell and to show that these are real life experiences and real life moments that we deserve to be highlighted. We deserve to have this platform where we can document and continue to document, so that our voices and our words and our work can outlive us.
Yeah, well said. And hip hop being such a powerful force, we're kind of inside baseball, folks listening or watching. Yeah, of course, hip hop. Some of the world and some of the folks from hip hop, or fans of hip hop, or, people from the culture who are a little bit jaded now, might be under the impression, and this is fair, for some, just, to some degree, that hip hop doesn't do this stuff anymore. All the stuff you just said. Yeah, but hip hop doesn't do that. And I think it's important, just because they don't see it, it's not, out in the forefront. It's not part of the media landscape. It's not part of the industry, all the things they see. And as, we get older, we're not, sort of you know, a lot of older heads would say that this doesn't happen as much anymore. But you would disagree with anyone saying that, right?
For sure, I would disagree. I mean, just once again, right? The conference, the conference theme, right, is a nod to Kendrick Lamar, who has had a bang up record, right, in hip hop recent history, right? So,
Just that
going all the
alone,
way
yeah.
back, yeah, just going all the way back to one of his, hit singles being the premier single of an entire movement, right? Like We Gonna Be All Right was the soundtrack to the whole entire like Black Lives Matter movement, right? So if we're being honest, right, who says hip hop doesn't do that anymore? Who says hip hop doesn't use hip hop is art at the end of the day, right? And I as a professional spoken word artist and poet, right? I view spoken word poetry as a critical literacy of hip hop by the combination of two pillars of hip hop, which are emceeing and knowledge of self, right? And so I am looking at how the ability to write your story, the ability to use your voice and have it on a platform where you can speak that out loud, right? That is a showcasing of what it means to disturb the peace, what it means to disrupt, what it means to be critical. And so all of these things work together for us. Like hip hop has the ability to do that. Hip hop has had the ability to do that. Now, are there artists who don't necessarily use their platform to do that? Sure.
Right.
But but are there artists who do? Yes, right? And so, just because some people are not doing that actively doesn't mean that doesn't mean that hip hop doesn't have the ability to save America, to
That's right. Right.
So yeah.
Sometimes the choir still needs preaching to. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, just sometimes you gotta let them know.
As the most influential music genre in the world, I think that in and of itself, right, it should tell us something, right? Biggie Smalls said, "We never thought that hip hop would make it this far," right? Because they really didn't. Like I'm from the actual block in the Bronx that hip hop was founded on, right? So I grew up in the actual neighborhood, and when I hear, I've heard KRS-One speak and do the spiel multiple times, and so, when I hear things like, we just continue to hear that they were just kids in a park. They were trying to, they were going through what was happening at the times in the 70s. They were, young teens and young people that, had something to say. And this was the way that they chose to say it. Or this was the way that they chose to do it. So, at the end of the day, right, this is the voice of the people. This is the voice of the culture. And we need the voices of the culture in order to understand and know what the culture is thinking, feeling, and believing, in order for us to know that we are not crazy when we are in isolation, feeling what we're feeling when we see what's going on out in the world, right? This is not normal.
For sure.
And hip hop and the arts allow for us a platform to express that it's not normal, and we're not going to be quiet.
Yeah, for sure. Like I say, I don't need convincing, but well said. Thank you for that. It actually leads me into now. Okay, you told me a little bit. You segued for me. You're an amazing poet. You've done a lot of work in that vein as well. What's your background in terms of your connection to the arts? How did you kind of come down this artistic path, which has now led you to be doing, in the academic space, but also in the artistic space, combining those two worlds? Where'd all this come from?
Yeah, so I have been writing and performing for 20 years this year. So this is actually my 20th year anniversary of knowing and loving poetry. So, my background is yes, I do come from the spoken word poetry world. I also come from the educator world, and I'm somebody who, in addition to just obviously by trade, having degrees in education and higher ed, working with students, et cetera, et cetera. I from a cultural standpoint, I'm a cultural curator, and I've been creating and participating in artistic and cultural spaces for going on 14 years now, right? So, So this is something that I love and enjoy. So, you know, from when I started, I co-founded when I was in high school, I co-founded a poetry open mic and showcase event. Shout out to the Harlem Bomb Shelter. It is currently and still the longest running open mic and showcase in Harlem. And so that was like one of my earlier creations of work when it came to like, okay, how do we create space?
Right.
How do we create space to support people in coming together and hearing this art form and this beautiful craft and the things that we have to say and how we want to say them and how we want to express them. And then moving on into college, I continued to do those same things through different student organizations and whatnot. In graduate school, you know, my master's is in higher education and student affairs. So just continuing to kind of create space and see like how am I like working with students, particularly students of marginalized backgrounds, students who are Black and brown, students who really have stories to tell, but they are often overshadowed or overlooked
Yeah.
because there's not that many platforms that allow for them to highlight, you know, the stories that they want to tell. So I was doing a lot of work like that. And then just kind of moving into like my, you know, worked full time for several years in different education nonprofits, but still always doing arts related activities, events, creating space. One of the things that was a huge point of inspiration for me was my youth poetry program, Urban Word NYC, the premier youth poetry program in New York City.
I know those folks well. I know those folks. Yep.
You know, we used to have a conference called the Preemptive Education Conference. And so I actually attended that conference 3 times. And preemptive ed was like such a huge, like so impressionable for me. And just the way that they, you know, merged, you know, hip hop pedagogy and spoken word and just, you know, activism, like all of those things like just really spoke very deeply to my core. And I just always knew that like if I had the opportunity, I would help to support in facilitating a space like this for people again. Right. And so lo and behold, right, years later, you know, as a PhD candidate here at UMass Amherst, I founded and birthed Black AF Conference out of like that same vein of like wanting to kind of produce experiences that allowed for hip hop, for education, arts, and activism to come together under the same umbrella and bring those types of people into the space that allow for young folks and just everyone, right? Creatives and educators alike to be impressed upon by the work of what it means to use your voice as a tool for social change.
That's dope. Again, talking like we did earlier, that these conferences have a different energy. They hit different than some of the other academic conferences that we go to and, you know, doing academic work, blah, blah, blah. But so one of the things I often tell, you know, I say to artists, like, don't think that because you're not in the academic space that you shouldn't go to one of these spaces. You should be there. Artists should be there to learn how, you know, better interact with folks in the academic space so that the academic space doesn't get too dry. You know, we need them type folks in the mix as well. To amplify that, the last 2 times you did your conference, what were some of the, I don't know, surprising moments? Do you have any surprising moments? Maybe not surprising to you, but something that stood out to let you know that, this is actually the kind of space that you dreamed about making was making a difference. Somebody who was there that did something, someone who told you something after the case, something that happened. What energy comes out of this conference in particular?
Yeah, that's such a good question. So the poetry slam, I would definitely say, is one of the highly anticipated portions of the conference. All of it, I'm excited about every part
I'm
of
sure.
it.
I get it.
But but so all of it indeed, but the poetry slam has a different particular energy. It's an invitational. It is comprised of some of the best spoken word artists who I know and am in support of from across the country, right? So in particular this year, we have poets who are coming out from Detroit, coming out from Virginia, Jersey, you know, so on and so forth, right? And I think for me, right, the poetry slam, I go to poetry slam spaces all the time. I've been slamming for like 14 years or something like that. So I've been slamming for over a decade.
Yeah.
So I'm in poetry slam spaces all the time, locally, regionally, nationally, internationally, right? And so I am in spaces where I am often having the ability to see dynamic, world-renowned, champion level poets that are doing their thing and all kind of like going for that spot, right? And the level and the energy is just this top tier. It's intense, right? It's top notch. And but that's not something that's normal. Like people just don't people are not, unless you're like consuming poetry slam,
Right.
you're not like you're not like you're the typical person at in a university setting that's not that's not their audience, right? And so bringing the poetry slam energy that I've kind of like seen from across the country, bringing that and kind of curating that into this space here at Black AF Conference in this academic conference space.
Yeah.
It has been one of the most pivotal experiences for the people of the community, the people who are in attendance there, that I have ever seen. It's been just so transformative, right? The one of the directors of the W.B. Du Bois Center came up to me after the first year, and he said, "This is the best event that we've ever had. We need to do this again," right? And that was confirmation for me in the first year to know that, like, okay, this is something special. Because with the first year, we literally had bare bones. We had nothing. We had a very small grant, a very small grant, and I was able to, like, on $1 and a dream, kind of make something happen. And people came out from all over, like attendance of like around 300 people between both days. And so that really confirmed for me that build it and they will come, but also like if it is something special, right, then that is confirmation that like people need this. People need this space. People want this space to exist. People just haven't done it yet, right? And so the second year, I was the teacher of an undergraduate course, and I asked my students to come for extra credit. I was like, hey, if you want an extra credit opportunity, come to this poetry slam, write about it afterwards. And my students came, and these are students, this was a first year course, a general education course. And so students from all over the university, people who probably would not have come to an event like this otherwise, showed up to the slam, and I'm reading their reflections afterwards, right, as I'm kind of grading extra credit. And I'm seeing them say like, I've never seen anything like this before in my life. I was so taken aback. I was mind blown. It was shocked. Like they are just, it is out of this world for them to conceive that this level of poetry exists. And also like people have these like perceptions when you say the word poetry, right?
Right, of course.
Because of the way, and I blame schooling. I blame I blame kind of primary school in a sense of like when teachers have the opportunity to show poetry in class, they are pulling out Shakespeare and Robert Frost and Emily Dickinson. And I'll speak for myself, right? This is back in the early 2000s when I was in school. That is what was happening during that time. Now, maybe things have been different because technology has advanced, right? But typically, right, once again, poetry and spoken word in particular is a pretty niche aspect of the art form. And so when you are saying poetry, people, if they don't go beyond that, they are kind of thinking out or making associations to that in their mind, and they're not really realizing what spoken word is, what poetry slam is, what the difference between the two are, and how that looks and feels and sounds in a room where the energy is electric and energetic. So bringing that poetry slam event and hearing the comments and reactions to the event for the last 2 years has been truly a definitely very like pivotal to how I am believing this space can be transformative. And also I'm just very excited for this year's event because this year will be no different.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I mean, I remember when you first encounter it, if you're not, like you say, if you're not from that scene and then you encounter it for the first time, it is life-changing. I mean, simply put, when you see good slam poetry, you are changed. Simple.
And could I also just jump in and just say something? So shout out to my live. I'm going live right now.
That's
And one of my mentors, who also is a part of the Hip Hop Ed family, Dr. Angel Jones, she comments, she comments and says, I love the way slams allow non-academic poets to be revered, respected, and honored for the brilliant artists and street scholars they are.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Like, and again, that's what you get from some of these spaces that don't stay walled up in the ivory tower. You know, the hip hop conference, the hip hop ed stuff. It's open to, like I said, like if you're an artist, you don't have to have. There's people there with no degrees, myself included. You know what I mean? Like we're welcome in that space because you know it doesn't matter if you have the letters after your name. It is your scholarship, your lived experiences that actually give you the brilliance and the genius. And I think that comes out so much more stronger in spaces that involve hip hop and welcome that mentality. You'd agree?
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. So, okay, I'm going to not keep you too much longer because I know you have a lot of orchestrating to do for this. Just so one time again for the folks who need a little bit more, who would need more, impetus to come to this event, but how's it shaping up? What's it going to look like? It's a one-day event this year. You do have this event that you just hyped up, which I would want to come to. If I wasn't even coming, I'd be coming. But like, what else you got? You do have some people speaking and presenting. I'm one of them. Blah 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 blah. But whatever, forget me. What else are we looking at? Presentations of some more artistic stuff. Tell me what the rundown is, just generally speaking. You don't have to make people go to the website, find it all the details. But give them a tease.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure. Listen, thank you so much. Yeah. So this year, the Black Artistic Freedom Conference 2026 will consist of a lineup of dynamic speakers, presenters, performers, and all the things, right? And so, your very own Manny Faces will be one of the presenters of the conference. And let me say this, right? The committee, shout out to my committee, my co-chair, Arnold Lane, and my committee comprised of undergraduate and graduate students from across the university. They have, I really want to just give them their flowers. They have worked tireless with me day in and day out to really bring this event to life. I could not have asked for a better and more committed committee to do this with, right? And we literally like handpicked, over the course of several weeks, really kind of took our time and read through the submissions and really selected people that we believed were going to really speak to this year's theme. And so and so on and so forth, right? There were dynamic people across the board that applied, but we could only accept but so many folks. And so I want to just say that, like, all of the presenters that are pulling up to Black AF Conference this year, right? We have, we really truly believe that they have something to share and offer of great substance for the community to benefit from. So I'll just say that. So we have these dynamic speakers and artists that are presenting, akin to the hip hop ed family. We have Dr. Christopher Emden and Timothy Jones, who are also going to be presenting as well. We actually have a youth-led session where the youth of Palante, which are kind of affiliated with the Holyoke Ethnic Studies program out here in Western Massachusetts, they're leading something dynamic. There's just so many artists that are just coming from across the country, who are within like the field of theater, who are within the field of poetry, spoken word, who are even talking about things like anime. There's just dance, like, maternal health. So there's just so many different aspects of like how we are understanding and experiencing Black scholarship and Black artistry that are taking place through the presentations. And so your mind and your soul will truly be fed. So there's that. But in addition to that, we have a phenomenal guest keynote speaker, none other than the hip hop poet himself, the 2-time, really 3-time Grammy Award winning spoken word artist, Jay Ivy, will be our keynote speaker. So I personally, a portion of my research was specifically inspired by Jay Ivy. Jay Ivy is just great peoples all around. Very, very, very excited to host him and have him share his story with us. And then we have the poetry slam, right? We have the poetry slam that is the finale, and we have poets that are coming from all across the country, and they slamming for the bag. Okay, we got $3,000 on the line. I believe I'm gonna go back and do that math, but
Okay.
we got several $1,000s on the line for the poets to pull up, and somebody's gonna snatch it. So it's going to be an exquisite, esteemed experience that that so many people will be able to relate to and see themselves in and feel, feel a vibe in different ways. And I'll say this, there have been a lot of, and this is actually, this is unannounced information, so this is a world premiere.
Okay.
Okay. Um, it was coming in the announcement soon, but basically, there is a lot of artists that have been hitting me up and saying like, "Hey, can I get on the mic? Hey, can I perform?" And obviously, like all the spots and everything for like specific speaking experiences like that's been booked solid for a period of time. But because of that like type of response and us knowing that this is the conference where we all need to have an opportunity to let our voice be heard, I even added an extra event. So I added the after hour cipher that will take place right after the poetry slam. And so in the same space that we will already be in for the poetry slam, there will be an after hour cipher, and poets, artists, all the things, all the creatives that are in the space have the opportunity to hop on the mic and just share something and just vibe. And I think that will kind of just be like the perfect ending to the day. And so that's pretty much what you can expect with Black AF Conference. But if you want more information, if you just go to this link, right, it's really easy to remember. So I'll just say this, and then from there you can kind of click on the other links that'll bring you to the information for the landing page. But the RSVP link for Black AF Conference is bit.ly, so bit.ly / Black AF 2026 RSVP. Okay, so I'll just say that again, bit.ly / Black, I hope you know how to spell Black, AF 2026 RSVP. So that is where you can find all the information, and that's where you can register too. Registration does close on February 8th though, and when it closes, it'll close. And so I'm gonna need you to get
That's how you post
yeah.
that. You're like, no, we're not gonna close it and then open it up again.
It's close.
You need
It's
to count.
close.
I get it. You need to count.
So get up in there. Get up in there. We don't want you to miss out because there are limited slots. We will have food, refreshments, drinks, snacks, all that jazz for you. There's breakfast, there is lunch, there's a reception happening, and some reception food, and some cash bar, and all of that going on. So there's gonna be plenty of opportunities to engage and be filled with your mind, your soul, and your body in order to experience Black AF Conference 2026 and all of its beautifulness.
If it has one iota of the vibes that you are putting out, we already know. We know what this is going to be. So I'm very encouraged. And again, yes, thank you to the committee. I'm very humbled and again honored and privileged to be selected to take a part in it. And I'm gonna have my work cut out because these are y'all some powerhouses, man. And I'm just gonna do my level best to rock with y'all and give this event the respect it deserves. Everyone, turn your TV off on February 21st and come down to UMass Amherst and check out this conference. Sign up now. I'll have put the thing on the screen through the magic of editing later, so people will have it. It'll be clickable down below wherever you see this. Make sure you sign up and come through. And if you're not in the area or can't be in the area, please send it to people. Please send it out to your artist friends, your educator friends, your healthcare friends, your elected officials, your church members, your parents, your students, your teacher. Everybody needs to be at these things. It's not just when you, like I said, when you say poetry, there's poetry, and then there's poetry. Right? There's conferences, and there are conferences. And so you need to be, especially if you feel compelled and you feel energized by the fact that hip hop is still an art form that can inspire and, save America, or at least make some parts of this place a little bit better for some people. These are the folks that are doing that work. I don't listen to me. Pull up. And you'll see it for yourself. Just trust me when I tell you it'll be worth your time. So, Lyrical Faith, my friend, my old long-time friend now. Thank you for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to get off your closing statements, as it were, to let people know how to follow you, how to keep up with you, see your poetry? Because believe me when I tell you, if you don't know, you're gonna find out. You really should find out how to follow you, where they could look you up specifically. All the end of interview stuff.
All the things. Listen. If you are not following me already, definitely follow me. I'm at Lyrical Faith Poetry on all platforms, but specifically Instagram. So Lyrical Faith Poetry, that's LYRICAL FAITH POETRY. But also, since we're talking about Black AF Conference, please follow the Black AF Conference page, right? So that will be Black AF Conference, at Black AF Conference. And something that you can do, listen, if you are out there and you're listening to this and you're like, wow, this sounds like a dope event, can't make it because I got so much going on that day. It's too far. I got other things happening. Okay, cool. You can donate to the event in order to support it, right? It's free technically, but we just ask for just a suggested donation in support because it is a very expensive event to put on, and we are working with limited resources. We are very grassroots here at Black AF Conference, okay? And so if you would like to donate, there is a link for that. You can find that link on the Black AF Conference bio on the Instagram page, but it's very easy. I'll say it for you. It's bit.ly/Black AF donates. Okay.
It'll be right
Black
here.
AF donates. So that's simple enough. And then for whatever reason, if you're like, hey, I really want to show up, but I think I want to do more. Like I want to kind of see if there's a way that I can get involved. Woo, you can volunteer. Okay. We got a volunteer link up. We need more volunteers. We need more volunteers. We need more volunteers. And the link for that is very simple. It's also bit.ly/Black AF volunteer. We made everything
Simple.
so easy.
Nice, decent.
Okay. So with that
You're
being
good
said,
with words. I'm just saying, maybe you should, like, I don't know, do something with that.
you know what I'm saying? Like maybe I should.
I'm just
I should
saying.
just try to. I should try to bring them to stages every once in a while.
Just an idea.
You know?
I'm just saying, you know, I won't, you know, just an idea. Just putting it out there.
Thank you. I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna hold
Okay. Glad I can help.
So yeah, those are all the things, all the places that you can follow, support. You can sow a seed, and in the words of my cousin Christopher Wallace, if you don't know, now you know.
There you go. That's what's up. All right. I'm, like I said, very excited to finally, you know, sit down with you and talk to you. Thank you so much for such a great breakdown of not only the conference and the work that you do, but, you know, the way you've come to see the world through this work. And I think that viewpoint is inspiring and is something that people need to know exists. So again, for all those reasons and more, I do encourage people to follow you and keep up with your work. We're ready for, you know, the next stage of your academic and artistic careers, which are growing simultaneously. And so I'll be personally keeping up with you. And if you have anything to share with the people, do any events or anything that, you know, folks that listen to me or in my newsletter, you let me know and I'll spread the word.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I will. And then same with you as well. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. And I'm just grateful that you had me be a part of your platform, be able to speak to your audience. And I am looking forward to supporting you in all that you're doing because hip hop truly can save America. So
Amen.
thank you.
Amen to that. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
Manny Faces.
You sick for this one.
Wow. Okay. Shouts to the people still tuned in and turned up with us. The tech, there's a lot of tech going on here. I got to show y'all one day what it looks like from this angle. Anyway, thanks for letting me know that we had a little trouble coming back. Basically, what I was saying was, don't let anyone tell you that hip hop isn't loud about the issues. Don't let Mr. Joe Budden respectfully tell you that hip hop isn't loud about the issues. Shouts to my friends TK Dutes. Shouts to Imani Wallace, aka Lyrical Faith. Two wonderful, brilliant Black women who are leading the charge when it comes to taking a hip hop mentality, a hip hop mindset, and making sure that it's being applied in the ways that can uplift humanity and improve society. This happens all the time. It's not just them, although they're wonderful representatives, and I'm so happy and honored and privileged that they joined me tonight for the show. If you're just tuning in now for the first time, if you have just come across this perspective, go back in the archives. I'm a rabbit hole advocate. If you saw Lyrical Faith tonight for the first time, you never saw, go on her YouTube page, go search her on Google. I played a clip of one of her pieces. It was dope, but you don't know the half. Let me tell you something. Woo-wee. Brilliant, just brilliant and compelling and impactful wordsmith, poet. When she rocks, it's in person. Ugh. It's like church, man. Trust me when I tell you. And if I tell you that she's going to curate the kind of spoken word poetry, hip hop adjacent, not my words, hers, in these spaces, don't tell me that hip hop isn't still talking about the issues. Don't tell me that hip hop isn't. You saw at least half of the hip hop artists that were on the stage at the Grammys last night talking they talk. You saw 4 or 5 stories tonight. If you listen to the hip hop news that isn't about dumb-ish segment tonight, about artists that are using their platform and using their power, and maybe they're not superstars on the radio, but they're teachers, or they're doing children's music albums and they're teaching the youth about hip hop as a beautiful representation of humanity, and especially about Black folk and about Black history and Black culture. Like, what are you talking about when you say that hip hop isn't speaking out? All I see is hip hop speaking out. So maybe you have to adjust your vision and look for the TK Dutes in the world, and look for the Lyrical Faiths in the world, and come to the Black AF conference at UMass Amherst on February 21st, Saturday. I'll be presenting, but I'm just humbly and respectfully, I'm going to do my thing. Don't get it twisted, but there are some amazing powerhouse voices that are going to be speaking to this thing. And the theme of the conference is hip hop as a revolutionary voice and a revolutionary art form and a revolutionary culture. So if you have any doubts that this is a thing that still happens, don't take my word for it. I'm bringing you the people you can listen. So if you say it doesn't exist, you are dismissing them. And I don't know if you heard from Miss TK Dutes tonight, or if you heard from Miss Imani Wallace, aka Lyrical Faith. I don't think you want to dismiss them. I'm just telling you, word of advice. Me, Manny Faces, I'm not dismissing them. I am positioning them. I am front and centering them. I am giving them all I can to amplify them on my platform. And I thank you for tuning in and turning up with me. Check my website, mannyfaces.com. I will be in Kalamazoo, Michigan, this Thursday, February 5th and February 7th, a book talk for my book, Hip Hop Can Save America, Inspiration for the Nation from a Culture of Innovation, where I break down some of these lessons and I, again, amplify the voices of the people doing this work. Check the book out, mannyfaces.com. All the information is there. I'll be in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I'll be in New York City later this month. I will be in, where's the other place I'm going to be? New York City. UMass Amherst for the Black AF conference all this month. Next March, I'll be in the Netherlands at the European Hip Hop Studies Conference. I will be all over the place. And if you want to bring me to where you are, again, mannyfaces.com, hit me up. Let's talk about where I can be. Please sign up for the newsletter, free newsletter, mannyfaces.substack.com. If anything you heard tonight sparks your interest, if you're not signed up to this newsletter, you're missing out. I'm giving you all these curated stories about hip-hop innovation, inspiration, and brilliance and insight, directly hand-curated and delivered with love to your inbox. No spam. I'm not going to sell you Viagra. I'm not going to sell you extended car warranties. It's just stories about hip-hop inspiration and insight. Thanks to Relevant Reality for checking in and also keeping me on track with the audio situation. I appreciate y'all. Shouts to TK again. Still in the mix. It's going to be a good conference. The Black AF conference is going to be a great conference. Honestly, I was planning to kind of go, even if they didn't like accept me to be a presenter. But I have a few things to say when it comes to hip hop and revolution and inspiration for resistance and all the things. So I'm very honored and humbled. I'll be able to say a few words, but I'm going there to learn. I'm going there to learn and listen to other people. Like I say things all the time, but I'm just relaying mostly what I hear from other people. I have some good, overarching insight. I'm becoming an expert of experts because I talk to all the experts. But I want you to go down the rabbit hole. Go down the TK Dutes rabbit hole. Go to listen to the Secret Life of TK Dutes podcast. Follow Lyrical Faith Poetry on all the platforms. Go down her rabbit hole. Blow your mind. I promise you. And if you can make it to this event, I'll be there. I'll be in Kalamazoo. At the Arcus Center for Social Justice Leadership. I'll be there. I'll be in New York City, Uptown, Harlem on February 20th. So follow me, mannyfaces.com, check my calendar. And if you need me to come and try to talk about the brilliance of hip hop music and culture to wherever you are, bring me to wherever you are. Just reach out. That's it. I'm out of here. This was a long one. I messed up the Substack live stream. I'm so mad about that. But, it is what it is. Yeah. Go to bed, y'all. Be safe. Follow the people I talked to tonight. That's all I'm asking. Give me a thumbs up real quick if you haven't already. Give it a quick share on your Facebook or whatever. And if people just come in and now, they'll start from the beginning and catch all the goodness. I don't say this enough. It's hard to kind of ask for it, but if you found value in what I do, patreon.com/Manny Faces. Or the Substack newsletter. You can give me a few dollars every month to help keep the lights on. It's very valuable. It helps out. There aren't a lot of places that are willing to support financially the kind of hip-hop advocacy and activism that we talk about on this show. They just want the gossip and the drama and the beef and the clicks and whatever. But what we're trying to do here is life-changing stuff. So if you want me to keep doing it, I can't do it forever out of my own pocket. There's not a lot of pocket. So if you could help, we're looking for institutional support. We're looking for grants. We're looking for nonprofits. We're looking for ways to finance this work. In the meantime, in between time, I might get paid to go speak at a few places that I just talked about, but some of the places don't pay me, but I still have to be there. I still have to come and spread this gospel, which means I have to come out of pocket and spend all the money that someone over here paid me to go over here. And then I break even and then I can't contribute to my household and do all the things I need to do. So patreon.com/Manny Faces. If you find value in this, we got to be grown-ups about this. We have to support when we can. So if you are able, if not, it's fine. Spread the word, share this with somebody, send the link, do all the things. That's just as good. That's commerce. That's valuable too. So thank you for that. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. Good night. Thank you for coming through and supporting Hip Hop Can Save America. Your man, Manny Faces. Until we meet again, peace and love to you and yours. I should have an outro to this show, but for 5 years, I haven't figured it out yet. So it's just me saying bye. So bye. Peace. Thanks for rocking with me. Honored to have you here. See you next week. Next week? Yeah, I'll be back. Hold on. Let me check my calendar. Yeah, I'll be back. It'll be a little tight. I'll come back Sunday. I have to turn around a show Monday. We'll make it happen. We'll make it work. Come see me next week. Peace and love, y'all. Thank you.